So I have some prophetic knowledge for you of signs of the end of the world that right now Muslims and Christians don't know, and Jews to some degree because they don't really follow the Torah. But right, the human beings who are still following God's books, even though yes, all of them are corrupted. All these books are corrupted. Okay, everybody? I'm the first Muslim to tell you the Qur'an is corrupted. And it's obviously not that hard to see. It always falls on my birthday and similar important dates of my life, which is October last year. I made the podcast. And then this October, I'm actually getting knowledge about my identity that's stolen. I'm stolen from Asia. I need to figure out which my ethnic group was. And I was put in a supernatural birth by God, as you would expect prophets have had many times, unless they were just born to a prophet and they know their parents. But just like Prophet Moses, right, had to be taken from his mother, and mother of Prophet Jesus, right, that just had him. But there's no husband she had. Okay, that kind of stuff, the supernatural. So I'm supernatural like your prophets. I have the same job as your prophets, but I'm not going to tell you who I am. I'm not going to give myself a name like prophet, messenger. And yes, I do know who I am, but I'm not going to say it. Since I've also been born into Islam and I know this religion very well, I obviously know what's going on, okay? But two, I have supernatural abilities in terms of knowledge. God guides me. So since he's guiding me, okay, he's already telling me stuff. And in that wisdom, it means I got to keep some stuff to myself and let God show you who I am. So that's the area of humbleness and respect, and also just following God's plan. Because exactly, that's his plan. I could have just told you. It doesn't mean you're going to think I'm a liar. It's easy to prove it to you. But you can't see me right now. You can't be like, well, we could have found you. You can't find me. Right now, everyone, the entire human race, everyone is put on blindness, including animals, pests. So demons are just made to follow me, a.k.a. persecution. The persecution is to teach me things such as the prophetic signs of the end of the world. I already shared some, and it was based on what they did to me, how they persecuted me, that then will start to happen globally, which is everything that's been happening after COVID, right? The attack on the economics part of the human race, right? Or finances, or money, or health, or all the ways they're attacking society, all the chaos, all the injustice, everything. Situations that were similar happened to me in my persecution, you know? And that's how I learned it. All I went through was homelessness, unemployment, being accused of crime, being put in jail, not being able to come out. Like that. I was just had nothing but injustice done to me, chaos, and you're all gonna go through that. Global poverty the poverty I suffered is gonna become a global poverty, like that. Whatever I suffered, and okay, the other stuff I suffered, you obviously will not suffer. And there's so much knowledge, everyone. It's too much knowledge. I had to stop being around those humans who are possessed, their demons. I had to stop myself from being around them and come outside and come to a better place, because they're constantly in a situation where everything they do is teaching me something. So I have to ask God for some break. My Lord, please give me a break. I need to go take some notes and record this episode, because I remember everything. Since I'm supernatural, I have supernatural memory and speed. It's just not perfect. That's supernatural, right? Right, because I'm limited. God doesn't give me my powers and abilities now. Okay, you get me? But still, the main basics of supernaturalness, in the sense that I have great intellect and wisdom, and my mind is always on overdrive and is powerful. It's not like a human. That's going to help me still record it. I don't have to write anything down. But this, I did it because there's too much knowledge that I don't want to just talk and I go off topic, because the persecution, see, don't link it to me being dumb. It's because the persecution, right, attacks me with witchcraft. They approach me, they bother me. Right now, they're not going to do it because I'm almost at the end of the persecution. So demons are obedient now and they leave us alone, because God is not going to let them bother me anymore in that sort of direct way, because I have to actually share knowledge. Do you see how logical it is? He's making them persecute me as a God to teach me things not directed at me, but it's also a trial, a suffering for many ways. But then when I need to actually do something, of course they're told to get out of my way. You know what I mean? Okay, but it's not perfect. They still get to put witchcraft on me. I might have problems with speaking and like that. That's because I'm in a rush. I have to hurry up. There's too much knowledge. But in my past episodes, you'll see I can just talk normally and calmly, because exactly, I didn't know much. Whatever I want to tell you is just what I wanted to tell you that moment that I learned that I can easily just say. But now the knowledge is too much. You know, so I'm in a rush because I just want to hurry up and record for you another episode. Because if I don't, is going to drag. The time that I'm going to leave this country and go to Asia and try to find my identity, all that stuff is almost here. I'm almost there, everyone. As October ended, that's my birthday. November is here. Exactly. I'm almost out of this situation where I'm going through so much difficulty, right? And yes, I'm isolated, and don't look for, right, my family or anything. I don't have a family, okay? I was stolen from Asia. This African family committed a sin, and they took me into their home. They tried to force me to believe I'm African and destroyed my life, and they're still being possessed by demons to stalk me everywhere in the U.S. And then all of a sudden in 2019, when my mind was thinking about going to Turkey, right? Because I thought of the other Asian countries, right? But Muslim countries, but they're very sexist and harmful. So just in the meantime, I just wanted to go somewhere okayish, and Turkey's okayish because there you go. Non-Muslims are there, and they make this world better. So, exactly. Instantly, I get a mail in the letter, this evil witch mother in Somalia basically saying, hello, we've been looking for you, Baba, wait a minute. And she said, I'm in Turkey. Why are you in Turkey unless you're a demon? You don't know I was trying to go there. That's a human. She doesn't know that. I disowned them in 2016. I cut them off. And I would have done that earlier, but God didn't allow it to teach me stuff. You get me? It's like they were allowed to hang around me a little longer. But I obviously would have ran away as a kid. What do you think? Right? My character is righteous, and I would cut them off a long time ago. You get me? It's just like these demons. You know, I can't get away from wherever I go. Wherever I go, even if they have to possess a pest, they're going to enter a pest and torment me all day. And I have to be like, this demon, get out. You don't have to pray. You know what I mean? But they're not bothering me like that. Unless God wants to put me through suffering, like a jail, they have to arrest you. They don't bother me, okay? Demons are obedient and respectful to me, and they basically are just being used to teach me stuff. And I do talk to them, and they listen, okay? Just normally. And the human, I talk to them. I know it doesn't make sense, but the humans, I actually talk to them, and they also do what I say. Like, I came here today to this park, and I said to this human, okay, everyone, I need you to leave. I need to record this episode. It's like there's some team with me. It's like they work with me. They're like, okay. And they clear the road for me. They leave like that. It doesn't make sense, but supernaturally, you're connected to me. You know me. You're helping me, but you don't know me, okay? So that's why there's no such thing as prophets and messengers, including me, ever being persecuted. We're not, because we're supernatural. That means we're stronger than you, and we're stronger than demons. And when you do persecution, demons are doing it. It's not you. So it's not you with the quality. It's them. They're using supernatural abilities, and that makes then rational sense. But they don't have power over us to use you to persecute us, because no one can kill or touch or harm or bother us. We're supernatural. Okay? It's just that in the beginning of our life, we're put through the trial of not having that life of a supernatural being to learn things, but also a trial, okay, a suffering, and to learn to be humble despite what God puts you through. That Satan didn't pass that test, okay? And I believe it's falsehood the way that they say God told them to prostrate. That obviously sounds very unjust to us. But then 2, prostrate implies worship, and okay, that's not rational. And then 3, exactly, he lied about everything, as I'm going to show you in this episode, and that is also one of the things that my mind is being guided to. Everything I see as a fishy thing is not an opinion. It's God himself guiding me. So almost any quality about me where I judge something and I don't like it is actually always ended up becoming God showing me that then it's not from him. So I'm fishy about this, okay? And inshallah, it'll be fake. And then also Adam, right? Eve being created from the rib of Adam. That's nonsense. That's the same thing again. Why? That seems fishy to me again. It's so irrational. If God wants to separate the female and the male and give them their own great identities and they're equal in his eyes as he has taught me, that stuff then has to be corruption. Okay, so let's start with the prophetic signs at the end of the world. I'm going to start with the big one. I think it's better to start with the big one. Okay, everyone, God has guided me today, November 4, 2024, after going through much supernatural guidance through experiences of demons persecuting me, which means they possess human situations, animals, and pests, and everything that happens around me is nothing but God teaching me something. That's the same thing prophets then were put into. It wasn't them being weak men that were being chased, and this means prophets were female and male, and angels are female and male, and I'm going to teach you why in other episodes, right? The nature that God taught me that he has just created for all his creations. We just all have a basic pattern that God follows for all of us, and that then fits into nature, and then that fits into justice, and then that fits into morality, and then that fits into logic, and then sexism, perversion doesn't exist. Okay? Sexism, perversion, separating the two genders, giving one more than the other, right? Telling one to harm the other, saying God sees this one better than you. That nonsense doesn't exist. And if he, as a demon, corrupted the story of Adam and Eve, right? Accusing God of saying prostrate to Adam, which is very strange and very unjust to me, is possible, right? That's also the corruption God is guiding me to. So there you go. The story, just the beginning is the problem. There's so much lies in the beginning, but God always leaves details for us because he's allowing demons to correct? He's the one giving them that power. They're allowed to corrupt, but they have to leave some stuff away. And that's the stuff that all of us, we like it. We like the fact that Adam and Eve love each other. We love the fact that they were loyal to each other forever. We love the fact that they're supernatural people. No one should marry them also. You get me? Even if it's another creation. These obviously were their children. We just love the fact that it's just the two of them. You know what I mean? And that if a prophet came, then he should have a prophet that's a man, then he should have a woman that's a prophet to marry him. We don't like the fact that some regular, weak little female, sinful, who could cheat will go to a great prophet like that, because that's fake. They marry supernatural women, okay, who are also prophets. Okay? We don't marry regular humans. I'm supernatural. That means I'm going to marry a supernatural prophet. I'm not going to marry a regular man. That's it. So that's why then there's so many prophets. God has guided me to the fact that if a prophet is a man, then the messenger, right? Muslims say prophets come and then messengers come. A prophet could be sent at the same time to multiple places. For example, since God is just, right? That meant in history, there was a prophet sent to Africa, Asia, and Europe. Okay, not necessarily always the same time, but in that sort of way. Okay, everyone gets their own prophet. Okay, then, right, then everybody, why is there a messenger? The messenger doesn't have a scripture. They have the same scripture the prophet had, like the Bible or the Qur'an, but they're the next prophet like you. You get me? They're a prophet, right? But it's like, it doesn't always mean they have the same sort of, I'm not going to say rank everybody, because I'm being guided to things, and we have to stay away from everything we've been taught. It just means they're the next person after you. They probably have to have a new scripture, right? Because that book usually is corrupted. So obviously, if that book is corrupted that the prophet had, then the messenger needs to have a new book. Okay? It could be a new book, or it could be the one that the prophet had that's just perfect now and God brought it back like that. But I believe, right, since just the way we think is possible, prophet comes, right, like Prophet Muhammad. If someone comes after him, right, usually God chooses someone from their lineage or someone from their race, and then like that, they're going to have the original Quran for you then. So God will do something, because that one is corrupted, okay? And you might be like, why would they do that? Why would they appear if our Quran is not corrupted? That's the evidence your Quran is corrupted. Because you all believe someone's coming to help you. You all believe in past history someone always came to help you. There's no reason for them to appear if your book is great. You'll just figure it out. You'll just follow the laws. But two, God could do that for his own reasons, obviously. But the main idea, the main theme God has taught me is that, okay, there's a prophet. Every race gets a prophet, everybody, because he's just as a God. But then there's messengers who come after them. So then the reason, right, the reason why we wouldn't also call them a prophet, again, they're prophets, right? But the reason why then it's like a messenger, right, like not necessarily doing the same work of that prophet, is because the messenger doesn't have to do what the prophet did. The religion already spread. The messenger is coming to fix the corruption after the prophet's time. When the prophet died supernaturally, okay, Satan cannot kill prophets. They all, in my opinion, were ascended. I believe they all were taken up like Jesus. But with that situation, they accused Jesus of, right, being killed first. Just visualize a prophet, his time is up. There's actually a prophet, I forgot his name. Was it Sulaiman? I forgot. He actually had this conversation with God that they say there was a story in Islam where God personally, right, is sending angels. They're saying to him, let's go, your time is up. And he didn't want to leave. All that stuff. The fact that they say he didn't want to leave could be the corruption, in the sense that I always tell God I want to die early. I always told my Lord I want to die at the age of 45. Hell no, am I going to live here longer than that? Because it seems so old to me. I don't want to be here when I'm old. I don't want to look old. I want to look great, okay? But two, when we're supernatural, we all have the ability of righteousness. Our characteristics are the same. We cannot have random different characteristics. So morality is then what the devil corrupts. Because that's what we all have in common. We came to help you. So the first thing we came to help you with is your character. So we're all righteous then. It doesn't matter if Islam is there or God's religion is there. It doesn't matter, right? That obviously is also Islam. It's just, I'm saying that for non-Muslims, right? So he always lies about character, our character. And then two, or he says at some point we had a good character, but then at the beginning maybe we didn't have it. Like that, he lies. No one ever fixes you at the end of your life. You get me? No one's going to do that. You're already that person. You're already righteous, okay? You commit small sin, yeah, but you're not like these human beings, because the point is you're supernatural. You're better than them in terms of the things they lack in, the things that you would say humans are deficient. You guys die. You guys get killed. Your prophets cannot be killed, okay? Two, exactly, you sin in ways that some become predators and all like that. They're righteous then. So you see, they're good in the areas you're deficient, or the areas that you're choosing to be something you shouldn't be, such as evil, because they're supernatural. That's all you need to remember. Supernatural, supernatural, supernatural. You already know supernatural means there's no such thing as you being defeated or killed, or there's no such thing. It's just the earlier phases of their life that they're going through persecution like me, that then is taken by Satan. He only tells you the beginning of their life for some prophets, and he hides the rest. The time they became great, you get me, like Prophet Yusuf, or like that. And then some of them, he just tells you the end of their life, like the so cool events they had, like Noah and the ark, and this prophet did this, and he had this cool experience of going up and like that. So I believe all prophets, right, and messengers, which are men and women, because God does not disrupt nature. He will always send you an Adam and an Eve. They were both supernatural. You're not going to say Eve was a regular female. She had the entire human race with Adam. You cannot have someone of a different race come out of your body, okay? They were supernatural. Don't be like that. Supernatural is random, though. It's just so cool. That doesn't mean they're prophets. Muslims would agree Adam was a prophet. So they're all therefore. Eve was then a prophet with him, okay? So they have to all be prophets. Then messengers come. You get me? People who just spread around. They just come after you. The prophet is no longer here to spread the message, because the message has been distorted. See how logical it is? Another prophet is not required, because they're like a certain time in human history, God sends this significant prophet again. Okay, then another like that. But the messenger, again, same thing. They're a prophet too. You know what I mean? It's just that the reason why they're being called a messenger, which could also be corruption, right? They're doing the same thing. They're all prophets. I know, but I think people maybe said messenger because they wanted you to understand what it meant. Exactly. They don't have another book. They just have the same book the prophet had. And you might be like, well, aren't we all God's creation? Every prophet sends the same book. So then isn't the messenger going to send the same book? I know, but in terms of what we know, right? What I'm being guided to right now, in terms of what you guys know, every book had names, right? Gospel, Torah, Qur'an right now, that obviously non-Muslims don't acknowledge. Like that. All the names, right? There's some sort of differences. What they teach you is the same, but maybe who knows, right? God gave them different names, or etc., etc., etc. Okay. So let's say Moses was giving the Torah, okay? Everyone goes back to Moses and Abraham. We all separate after them, correct? Because of, okay, the stories about Jesus and Muhammad, some people will believe, and then some people will not, like that, okay? So just let's go back to Moses, okay, or Abraham. Okay, when those prophets, right, this is how God has guided me so far, okay? It just means everyone, every race, right, they'll get a prophet. Okay, but then the prophet, after them, there's no reason to send another one. God is logical. He doesn't need to send another one. It's because Satan is out there and he's allowed to corrupt the book. So when the book gets corrupted, see how logical it is? Another prophet always comes down. You know? Another prophet actually comes down. Like, obviously, Jesus was a prophet. And he came to give you the Torah again. You get me? Because Moses' time, after him, it was corrupted. Okay, and then everybody thinks Jesus was sent after him. Like that. They're both prophets. No messenger here, right? And I actually believe the term messenger just means the quality of a prophet. They give you a message. So due to what I'm being guided to right now, I don't believe there's messengers in the sense of this sort of lower rank. The lower rank is obviously unjust. I truly 100% have conviction from God that doesn't exist. Don't worry about the rank stuff. There's no rank. They're all equal in God's eyes. They just have different abilities. Okay? But in terms of their morality, their character, their righteousness, they're the same. Okay, but then two, the way that God created them, they're all supernatural. They're all gonna get married and be sexual with someone supernatural like them of the opposite gender. That's also another prophet. So God is not gonna distort nature. If you're supernatural, you cannot marry someone who's not supernatural. Do you guys believe angels can marry humans like that? So your prophets are supernatural. So then for that reason, in order to make you hear nonsense saying they married a regular female here, blah, blah, blah. Oh, there was no prophet who was a woman. It's just males. And those males were just like, in order to create this nonsense, he has to tell you they were just regular men. He has to take away the supernatural ability. You Muslims and Christians might be like, well, we kind of know they're supernatural. Yeah, but you're thinking of something else. You're thinking of some other type of supernatural. You're not thinking of the correct version of supernatural. Get it? Superior in that sense, like how angels are superior than us in that other way. Not superior as in like evil, but exactly they're stronger than us, okay? So, like that. You cannot mate with them, okay? As a Muslim female, you can't marry a prophet, okay? And as men, right, as males, if a woman prophet ever comes down, you're not created to see her like that. So I don't want you to just think God just doesn't do it. No, you're not created to see them that way. So only demons possess some crazy human beings today in this lifetime, just as they accuse them of being pedophiles and rapists and this and that. They say things like, oh, I wish I could marry Prophet Muhammad. That nasty, perverted Muslim females will pop out of the earth, okay? That's demons saying that through her because they're mocking the prophet, because they're jealous. And even though they're scared of them, even though prophets are stronger than them, even though demons are the ones who have to obey prophets, you get me? It's evil. It's allowed to attack. It's allowed to attack. And God allowed evil to even insult him. Okay, so we're not even going there. If even the Lord has created even in a way that evil says bad things about the Lord himself, you see how then God is going to guide you in this situation. Then he's going to tell you, just let it go. It's just evil. It's a test. It's a trial. You all are supposed to come out of that by using your mind, okay? Using your mind and seeing how dumb something is, how illogical it is, and how unjust something is, and how in another situation is, right, destructive, and all these other things that you're supposed to think of, how illogical it is. That's going to help you then conclude there's a problem. And God will guide you. But you guys rarely do that. Demons, you just give them too much control over you, except what I don't know of other reasons. Okay, another prophet has to be sent again. You get me? It's like the time is just going to match the time you guys are at the worst level, you know? You're not doing what your ancestors taught you. Use your mind. And the people who use their mind, who like to create civilized countries not based on religious scriptures, they just like to take the good and leave the bad. You keep mocking and insulting them, okay? So you become the bad ones when the prophet comes back. You become the one that people call enemy, you know? So a lot of Muslims right now, whoever you're waiting for, you're actually not making them happy, okay? I'm not happy with you either. And then lastly, you're going to be the ones who are going to be the problem. You're going to say, we believe this. And they're going to be like, no, it's fake and filthy and evil like I tell you. But there you go. You have a chance to repent. And God has, okay, guided me to pray for you. And it's working. Don't be like, so, you know what I mean? I pray it's working. A lot of Muslims within the past few months are literally curious about the end of the world. They're waiting for their next leaders. And they're lastly, exactly, it seems like a lot of sheikhs, I've seen them with my own eyes, I won't say their name, are becoming uncomfortable with the sexism in Islam. And people are calling them moderates now. You get me? Oh, you're leaving Islam. You're becoming a bad sheikh. That's my prayer working, everyone, right now. Afterwards, what starts to happen. But in the past, when they were already coming to that decision, okay, that was God helping them get to that point. That wasn't because of me. But when I saw that and my Lord showed that to me, then I prayed for everybody. So then, okay, the prayers are working, and God, his own work that he's doing in other ways, right? The prayer is still going to go to God. It's not me, okay? God is helping us, okay? But prayers matter is what I was trying to say. So in another episode, I'm going to talk about my characteristics and qualities. But this episode, I'm just going to talk about signs at the end of the world. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about Mahdi. And I'm not going to talk about Prophet Jesus too much. What God has taught me about them and many other things that are really cool. But I just don't know how to start this. There's so much I learned today. I don't know how to make... Okay, let me think. I'm sorry, let me go back. So, right? In the way that I'm thinking right now, I don't believe there's messengers because it seems weird. They're all doing the same thing. And those messengers they're telling you usually would also still be coming with a new book. So I think that's Shaitan, what he corrupted. I think he corrupted the fact that the second person who comes after a prominent prophet that you can remember, right? They're all prominent. I just mean like one you can remember, like Prophet Muhammad or Jesus, right? They always act like then a messenger comes after them. Well, then where's the messenger after Prophet Jesus? Who's the messenger? They just tell you Prophet Muhammad came after him. Okay, so prophets then are just being labeled messenger because they're actually giving a message. So I hope you Muslims then now see that that's God guiding you. If you use your mind and use what I'm showing you right now in this episode, there's no such thing as a prophet, right? This sort of cool figure, and then a messenger, a lower rank. One, they're all doing the same thing. They're all calling you to God the same way. They're all having persecution and all this stuff happened to them. They all have the same life. They all have supernatural abilities. They all have the same character of morality, and everything about them that's bad is the accusation, and it's always the opposite of their character. Okay, so all prophets and messengers are the same. There's no such thing as a messenger being separate from the prophet. They're just prophets. They just have a quality of being messengers. Duh, they give a message. But they're prophets, okay? So because they're all prophets, and because, yes, there's two genders, the devil always hid the fact that women were prophets. Many of the prophets you're even hearing about, some actual prominent names, exactly, some of them were men. Some of them were men, right? And some were women. So he's hiding it from you, okay? You get me? He could have told you Salah, and who knows, that could have been Salma, you know what, like that. He changes the name. He changes usually the race or where they come from. If he wants to maybe make you think, right, you're not gonna know where they're gonna come from, or he wants to perpetrate more racism, and he changes their gender. Exactly. If you're gonna change their gender, because you need to hide that women were prophets, because it disrupts everything as a demon you've been teaching the human race. That God just loves men and he hates women. He only cares about the masculine. He doesn't care about the feminine. He thinks they're weak. If you need to teach them that, you have to go back to Adam and Eve and already portray Eve as the problem. You have to hide the fact that she was a prophet. You have to hide the fact that she suffered and learned things just like Adam. You have to just say only Adam taught his children the names of everything, right? You have to take everything away from Eve. So we have to go back to Eve, okay? Then afterwards, you have to just give names that were men. Noah, Idris, Sulaiman, Ishaq, Yaqub, Dhul Kifli. You have to just tell them these male names. And these specific ones could have been male, right? But then you have to take away the ones that were women, give them male names, and then others who actually were men, hide them. And then others who were also men, right? Like the other male prophets, get rid of them from history. Because, exactly, it just disrupts all Satan wants to do. If you ask me what's the agenda of Iblis, Shaitan, and Satan, which is the same name, okay? Iblis is his real name, everyone who's non-Muslim. And Satan is just Satan, right? That's just the way people describe them. But devil, right, is like what happens to you when you become evil. It's like you're a devil, right? But technically humans like to leave that for demonic spirits. They're spirits, right? But when they become evil, they're called demonic, right? Like that. If a human becomes evil, you can call them demonic too. But just, right, these are just terms. But they're jinn, that's their species. And from what we know, they're created from fire. It's possible they're created from something else. You see, everything is corruption. I swear, this demon corrupted everything. So it fits very well, okay? The story about how he says God told them to prostrate to Adam. Exactly, very, very uncomfortable for all of us, because God would not tell us to prostrate to each other. That's evil. It's the same thing here, especially since prostration means worship to God, right? You're actually bowing to your Lord, right? In a different way, you're prostrating all the way to the ground. Two, it's easy for Iblis or the devil to get away with that, everyone, because it helps him in the future. He tells Muslim women, if you had to prostrate to anybody, it's your husband. There you go. It just fits into the goal of what he always wanted. I'll tell you what that is. He's a demon, okay, at this point. He was just a spirit before, but he becomes bad. He becomes demonic spirit. Now he roams around this earth, just miserable, as you all were thinking, right? Okay, good. But then he's just looking at Adam and Eve, and he's thinking, how can I destroy these two human beings and they're supernatural. Otherwise, they can't have the ability of having children from all races, goodness, and know everything, right? Can you believe God taught them all languages and everything that you would say this whole human race has learned so far, except the recent things God had to teach their children over time, like, right? Science of certain times, right? So you see, obviously Eve is not a regular female. And you guys can't be like, fine, she's supernatural, but she's not great. Ugh. You cannot match with a man who's great unless you're great, okay? In order to match with him and do the same job with him as he's trying to teach this human race, which is you and I, all of us, the first ones who came out, you have to be great like him and keep up with him. He's going to run way ahead of you. Two, supernatural in terms of the human race always means you're a prophet and messenger. God does not create supernatural people who are human and then makes them someone else. They have to always be prophets and messengers. That's what supernatural always meant. Can God do something else? Yes. But in terms of these actual members we're talking about, these names, these important people, right? They were always prophets and messengers. So demons like to separate the supernatural from the prophetichood, right? Like they might say Mary was supernatural. She had a supernatural birth of a kid who happened to be Jesus. Yeah, but then they're taking away the fact that maybe was probably a prophet herself. You see what I'm saying? Because exactly, it's not logical. God would just choose a regular female and put her in that supernatural birth. You get me? Prophets could have come from regular people who are just regular humans like you, right? That's what I'm saying. That's possible. We don't know that. Every time they could have come from a prophet woman, right? Her stomach. But if, right, God just puts them in a regular family, then exactly, the birth would just be normal. And God will just give you the ability to handle giving birth to this powerful creation of God. Your stomach can't handle that. This is literally the leader of the world. They're a supernatural creation. Humans cannot kill them. Demons cannot kill them. They have power over Satan himself. Look at my words. Not just demons, but the devil himself, who has a lot of supernatural abilities. How can you, a regular female, keep him in your stomach or keep her in your stomach? So goodbye. So for that reason, God, if he was to actually do that, then something will happen to you. You're not going to feel it then. So he's going to do his own thing. You obviously would think he's a creator. But then what's going to happen? Exactly. Just you and another regular male who are unrelated, who are married, normal way. That's how they're going to come out of you. Okay. But if it's going to be a supernatural birth where there's no male with you and you're just a female like Mary, then you have to be supernatural in this case. That's what I'm thinking. But is that necessary? Not necessarily. But I just think Mary has to be supernatural because of just the significance she holds and the fact that her name is all over the place and that my name is Marian, which is Mary in English, is not random. And I'm doing the same job of my prophets. Maybe that's God's way then also, right? Also, the other stuff, I don't know, right? The other stuff could be obvious here and there, like what I just said. But also, right? Also means it's not the only thing. Also, to show you guys that why did he make sure I was named Mary? Why did my Lord make sure I was named Marian, right? Marian Abdullah, right? Okay, so why? Because, exactly. It's like he's reminding you of Mary. If I'm supernatural and I'm like your prophets, but I'm not going to tell you who I am, then you cannot just ignore my name and the fact that I'm supernatural. And one day you're going to know who I am and you're going to be like, wow, I can't believe this. It destroys everything we were taught, all the sexism, everything we were taught about women, basically, and about men, and then about human nature and perversion, sexism, all this stuff they link and destroy all of us with, and everything we learned about God and how the world started and the devil. And you guys are just going to be like, I'm going to just say, yep, good job. Okay, so let's talk about this. So first I have to explain this stuff to you, okay? Then I'm going to tell you the finale, which is a powerful prophetic knowledge that only I know and is dangerous. But first I have to teach you what a prophet is. Then otherwise it's not going to make sense. So, right? Messenger is just another word or name for prophet. Because what do? Messenger. They give you a message. Hey, everyone, I want to tell you something. The word tell, I want to tell. It's like a message, right? I have a message, everybody. Like you're texting someone. So they're messengers of God. Because messenger of what, right? Messengers of God, right? Or you could say messengers for God. You get me? So they're therefore supernatural, because you cannot connect with God directly unless you are powerful in that way that he designed you. You're like an angel. You're like a supernatural human. Regular humans can't do that, okay? You just pray and you obviously connect with him that way, right? Those are experiences that are supernatural, right? Because you don't see your Lord. Okay, but you have to be supernatural in order to actually connect with a divine being. God is divine. Don't call him supernatural. God is divine. Demons ruin my words many times in a past episode. So I said I have divine missions. I meant I have divinely chosen or supernatural missions like that. They ruin my words. Because right now I'm going through the persecution. That means they're allowed to attack me when I learn and say things and record things. Right? It doesn't make sense, right? Then how can I make great episodes? Because this is just knowledge where it's like guidance. I'm calling you basically before the time is here. But then the truth, right, that I've been saying is coming, will come, I believe, next year. And then, right, Jesus will come around that time. Then who cares about this podcast in that way? I'll just edit some stuff here and there. I don't want some hadith stuff coming out of it, right? Some lies coming out of it. But the truth is what you need. You get me? Like that scripture, those big events that are supernatural in the future leaders, what they're going to do. And then Jesus, like that. That's where you're getting your actual guidance. And that means I'm not being persecuted at that time. I just told you we're supernatural. That means we're stronger than demons and we're stronger than humans. And no one can kill us or harm us or touch us or bother us. It's the first few years of our life that we're put through persecution as a trial, because see, we're stronger than you. We're stronger than demons. So if God was then to say, you're going to literally just walk around this earth and that power that was in us is not going to be visible to anybody, you're all blind from us. But then he, the creator, is going to not even allow us to use that power. You might be like right now, what's my power? I don't know what my power is. What if I have some cool ability, but I'm not going to be allowed to know it or use it? So then do you see what he did? He like lowered us, right, to a stage where no one knows who we are. But he also is like it's like when you turn the lights off. Are the lights gone? No. It's like the lights were turned off on our powers. That's it. So you could go to jail. Someone could irritate the hell out of you every now and then, cuss people out, and that's a demon though. So even if we were being persecuted, even if we are being put in a jail, even it never happens by the human body. So I don't want you to ever think that I'm just saying God still diminished us or something and humans then get to do very powerful things to someone supernatural like me. No. When I was going through difficulty, when I was having humans say something bad around me, try to touch you, try to irritate you, put you in a jail, put you at a mental hospital, accuse you of being crazy like they accuse my prophets of being crazy. Today's called mental illness. Whatever bad happens in the persecution is still being done by supernatural beings, demons and devil. So see, we're not diminished where a human is touching us. And no, anytime I was abused by human beings, that wasn't the human being. Demons don't have a body. So they were actually possessing the person. And the actual demon himself and herself was bothering me. They were handcuffing me. So is that not then logical? Because they are supernatural. They're just like me in the sense that it's not weird for them to have the power to do that if my power is taken away. It's weird if I have power, yeah, but if my power is taken away, then it's logical they're using theirs. You see? They're supernatural. So the first lie demons came up with when it comes to corrupting the abilities of prophets is they make it seem as if humans did the persecution. No, demons did the persecution. That then helps you see your prophets are stronger than you. They are supernatural. And that every day they used to walk around just like many of you believe, like Christians and Muslims. You believe Jesus and Muhammad just lived normally to some time. Exactly, because that's when you guys are scared and you're just minding your business. But then when someone comes from that city and you all think some army came and whatever that situation is, that's not humans, that's demons. They are putting one of the biggest witchcraft and curses and other powers only God knows, the most heaviest spiritual powers. They don't create it. God created evil, and these powers that are evil, like a curse or a witchcraft. So you get me? They're just using it. But yes, they are supernatural. So they're using their supernatural abilities of possessing a human and then all the powers God created like a witchcraft, and they can physically come to this earth, possess that officer, and arrest me and put me in a jail. that man cannot touch me and put me in a jail if that demon gets the hell out of his body. So no, humans are not equal to me in strength. And you're not equal to your prophets in strength. So I have to go through what they did. One, because I'm like them. But then two, I'm exactly. My story is meant to help you take away the ways they were accused of going through it literally. They're not going through it literally. It's not happening to them. It's fake. I have to go through these things so that you actually know what the situation really meant. It wasn't about humans being fake dominant over us and touching us and putting us in a jail and drugging us. No. God just puts us through suffering because we're also being put through trial. If we're supernatural and powerful and have cool abilities and we come to help you and then we die supernaturally, yes, prophets die supernaturally. So no one's going to die, in my opinion, from a fever like Prophet Muhammad. But I believe they all have the power where God just took them up like Jesus. They just go up. And there's other stories too in Islam. I forgot the name of that prophet. Where angels came to them and said, let's go. And the devil accused them saying, I don't want to go. I want to be in this earth. And they said his time was on and on for hundreds of years. So you see, that's how prophets were. They were so supernatural. An angel has to come down. But then they could live hundreds of years also. Okay? But since human beings have changed over human history, over time, right? Then people believe we can't live that long. Again, some people get to 100 years of age. I know. I mean, like, are we as an entire species being 100, 200, 300? No, right? So that's sort of used to also say the prophet in your time is going to be, yeah, again, they're supernatural. They're powerful. They're going to have a supernatural death. No one's going to touch them. Disease and illness and that kind of stuff is not going to kill them. Okay, they're just going to die cool way. An angel comes and let's go. And then they go. Yes, I don't mean their body is taken by the demon. By the angel. No, they just go up. Get it? They walk up, they go. Isn't that cool? So then wouldn't you respect them? Wouldn't you think they're great, powerful people? And then at some point, wouldn't you say to God, my Lord, is not fair if women don't get to do it. And also these males who are creepy get to bother us all day and tell us we're weak as hell. He knows. Telling you their abilities is dangerous. Because one, you cannot treat them well, like weak little things you persecuted all over the earth, like me. No one is following me. I'm literally in the middle of maybe 10, 20 human beings in this park. Not one person is judging what I'm saying. They're not human, they're demon. And the demon obviously is not going to judge me. What the hell? They respect me and they're scared of me. God brought them here to teach me something. So the persecution is about teaching. But also the trial that you're actually stronger than them and humans. But they get to put you in a jail. They get to say some nasty thing around you because that's the nasty thing you said is me learning what's wrong with your morality. You're all perverted. Okay? So the bad behavior is for me to learn what's wrong with you. But then the suffering, right? The fact that I get to go to a jail. I know it seems like a bad behavior too. But it's the fact that we get accused and go to a jail. That's for suffering because you can't touch me. I did not say you can beat me. I said you can't touch me. Touch. You can't even touch the body. You might be like, well, if it's evil, I understand. You're obviously God's people in that sense. No, even if it's good, even if you're a loving, wonderful person, and I fell to the ground, you don't have the ability to run to me and grab me to help me. You can't touch me. Get it? That's what it means to be powerful then. So demons have to hide that. They have to say we're nothing. Our supernaturalness is more like God just loves us. What? No, we're actually like, I'm telling you, your prophets are like after angels, except what I don't know. They're like the human version of that supernatural that, right, is after the angel. The angel is powerful. They're supernatural. You're all scared of angels. Okay. They also have women though. But two, exactly. The prophet is the second level. They're a lower level than that. So then they're going to have all the qualities that are the main characteristics of supernatural beings. Supernatural birth, supernatural death. No one can touch or harm or bother them. They're leaders. They're messengers. They're righteous in character. They're all going to come from every race because that's God's way of loving all of you, honoring all of you. But also you need someone from your race, goodness. They understand you. Okay? And then they're put through a trial because otherwise they get to have a great existence. But they're still human, right? So where's their trial? You're all going through trial because demons get to attack you. You see what I'm saying? It's like, where's their trial? Is that the reason God did it? I don't know. I'm not telling you what God's main reason is, but this is one of the reasons, okay? This is a trial for them. That exactly, you're that powerful. You get to have cool experiences. But then for a couple of years in your life, people just go blind. And this human walks by, a demon possesses them. Hey, you. And they say the B word. They say something nasty. They try to touch your shoulder. It's never going to be something extreme, but they just try to touch you. They swerve their vehicle at you if you're living this time. A cop comes to you, or a soldier in past human history, and he says things like, I'm going to kill you. That's not real. That's a demon saying that. That's not a human. And the proof is that exactly all of you would agree with me. Whatever you believe about these people, as Christians and Muslims and Jews, you all believe there was always a period of time no one bothered them. That's not because no one knew who they were, goodness. That's because demons don't have God's permission to do that at that time. That's the evidence. It's not human beings who persecute them. Because then you'd persecute them from the beginning. Okay? But for you to just randomly, every now and then, and especially when they're giving messages and teaching knowledge, people just pop up and want to put them in a jail. That's now the time that God is giving demons the power to now bother them. But except that situation, no one is acting like that around them because it's fake. And it's not the human. So it doesn't dishonor the fact that I told you they're powerful and supernatural, and angels directly come and take them, and no one actually can die normally like you humans. They just die in such a cool way. That's not God being unjust to you. Don't be like, well, okay, that's unfair to us. What are you talking about? We don't talk about how angels get to do cool things. We're not jealous of them. It's not evil that they have some greatness that we don't have. This is the same for you humans. Your prophets and messengers cannot be regular men and women like you. Because I just told you, demons are supernatural. They get to have some power. If someone's going to come and save you and help you, you call them saviors. How are they going to help you if they can just be cut in the neck? Huh? You go to jail and someone just beats the hell out of them. Who's going to help you? Oh, my prophet helped me and he's being shot himself. Be rational. Be like those cool people who make a story like an author. The hero has to be strong, okay? He can't save the city. You get me? Your own leaders are there for you as human beings, your own greatness. Come out and be great people. Who told you you can't be great? But there's ranks. We have animals, we have pests, we have humans, we have supernatural humans who are prophets and messengers. And yes, they have to be both genders. And then we have angels, except what we don't know other creations out there. And the demons, yes, we have spirits. They're supernatural. They had, who knows how they were also. They probably also had supernatural ones and maybe non-supernatural ones. But if they were all supernatural, we don't know how they lived in this life, right? They probably suffered all killing each other all day, right? But then the demonic ones, the bad ones, are here to bother you and I, okay? So I have to be born a certain time in history that God is setting the stage to be a distant from the last person that he sent to help you. I'm not going to tell you who I am, but he was a prophet, Muhammad. After prophet Jesus, it's not rational, everybody. Yeah, I have to be sent and I have to be that sort of, hey, everyone type of messenger. Not the literal messenger, right? But I have to give you the message. I have to tell you what I'm being guided to. Is that what God always did? Did he always guide someone? No, we don't know that. You know, there are times he might have just guided someone like me and then you know who they are at the end. Okay. Or they might have just popped up and said, hey, I'm actually a prophet, everybody, you know? That's not important. Sooner or later, you're going to know who they are and you're going to know who I am. But in terms of God's plan right now, I'm not supposed to tell you who I am. Okay? But I have to first tell you the way we're created. Why are demons able to come here and tell you they crucified your prophet and you know he's a powerful man? He touches someone as they tell you, if that's the correct way God told him to do it, right? And he, again with God's power, is having leprosy cured with his hand. That's insanity. People coming back from the dead. That's insanity. That's why you think he's God's son. Why the hell you just be crucified and dragged around the earth? Why don't angels come and save you at least if you're that weak? It's nonsense, get it? He flips the part as a devil. That's the most essential for you human beings to know their true identity. He corrupts their morality for you. He tells you they're perverts and weirdos and criminals. I just told you these humans are possessed. They don't know me. The human cannot touch me or bother me. The demon cannot touch me or bother me. It's God putting us in it. He puts us in a trial. And in that trial, demons are given extra power, not regular power. Extra, because that's how powerful we are. Extra. And they have to then come, possess that human, and piss me off and say nasty things. If I hit them, I go to jail. They accuse me of mental illness then, because they don't want anybody to know they were harassing me. They want to make it seem as if someone just beat the hell out of them or hit them or just... What are you talking about? You can't just harass somebody and if it doesn't work, you just move on. Or if they go to jail, then you just move on. The goal wasn't to put you in jail. The goal was to treat you as a weak little deficient thing because you're stronger than them, that demon who used their body. Mental illness technically makes you weaker as a human, right? It's like a weak little thing. And these people are gifted in the mind. They're healthy. But to demons, mental illness means demonic possession. Past humans knew that. Crazy people always meant you're possessed by a spirit. It didn't mean you're actually crazy, okay? But today, they came up with that terminology for you. Mental illness. See, they like to use the word mental because you agree we all have mental anguish maybe. Someone died, we're sad. Our mind feels that way. Like that, mental. The word mental is difficult. But let's throw away the word mental. Let's call it illness. Illness could be like dementia. Okay, let's throw that word. Do you see how dumb it is? You can't even figure it out what to say. Throw both of them out. Crazy. The government will have to drop it. They know people are not crazy because they feel depressed. They know like that. So demons used crazy in the past. They know this human race, this group here is going to have a hard time with that term. Because someone's just saying these emotions and thoughts are coming over them. They're not crazy person rocking around naked. So then they want to target that group because the one tormenting their mind is the demon. They possess their mind. They possess their body. And they don't have to possess you to attack your mind like me. They can still attack my mind even though I'm not possessed by just sending me witchcraft. Okay, but then the 99-something% of the human race is possessed due to small sin and big sin. So since you're all possessed, and a lot of you will never say it, like the sheikhs, the preachers, the rabbis, you're never going to say to anybody you work for Satan. But I come to obviously expose that. There you go. So for you, it's possession and witchcraft and other powers. So you're going to have all the mental attack then. Your mind is attacked. Thoughts, feelings, energy, nightmares, flashbacks, all these hallucinations. You're suffering where? Mind. Your body's suffering too. But you can eat, you can sleep, you feel like it's not a big deal maybe. At some point, your body will suffer because they possess your hand, make you do something. And it doesn't always feel that way, just so you know. It doesn't feel like something took over your hand. It just feels like you're being made to do something against your will. You just touch your head all of a sudden. You're like, why did my arm just go up? You think you felt self-conscious maybe, and that the body just reacted. But the self-conscious was a witchcraft. It was a thought. Okay, so if it's just witchcraft, they do that to me. You might just touch somewhere because they make you aware of some part of your face, like me or your body, where it just feels itchy all of a sudden. But guess when they do that to me? When someone walks by. Usually it's around people. Because they want to make human beings feel anxious of each other. Imagine someone walks by and you just feel hyper aware of yourself and them. And then you just start touching or scratching yourself. That then makes that person self-conscious, makes them anxious as hell. And now we all just unconsciously don't know we're being attacked with witchcraft. You get me? It wasn't just thoughts. No, it was witchcraft. If it's too much, if it feels like you walking around human beings or you're around human beings or you're by yourself and it feels like your personality, the way you behave, the way you think, the way you carry yourself, what you normally would have said. If it's some sort of distortion to all that, somehow it's under attack. Exactly, but you're not going to obviously call it demonic or anything. You just think you're just anxious. There you go. That's witchcraft, okay? But possession is like they take over your hand. That's different. But they have to get your agreement. So that's the part where God is then just to you. You would obviously say that's unjust. Exactly. They can attack us, but we get to fight with that one. It's easy. It's just witchcraft. You get to just relax your body. You get to do what you got to do. But possession is like sin. You actually have done something. It's so bad, they had to possess you. You know what I mean? But then you get to fight with that because they will talk to you. They will tell you to do something. You know? So humans who do bad things actually hear demons, okay, everybody? They hear voices. That something tells them, cannot use your body. But they're never going to tell us the truth. The religious people are never going to tell you that Satan or demons came to them and told them to shut up and don't tell anybody the Quran is corrupted. Don't tell anyone the Bible is corrupted. These are not people who are just bad. They actually get to communicate with demons and they'll never tell you. So aren't they crazy? Aren't they crazy? In terms of what crazy means. You can't control your own body. Something takes over. You run around naked or you lie to people. It's not even you talking. Something else is talking out of you. That's it. So they need some crazy who go in the street and naked. And they need some crazy who go exactly sit in a podium, let's just say that, or altar or whatever. And they try to act really calm and really slow with their voice so they can make themselves seem exactly sophisticated. A quality of prophets and good people overall, just sophisticated, really calm, intelligent, calm like that. And boom, they saying evil things about God and prophets and themselves and the human race and women and rights and scripture. They'll never tell you they know in human history when they were in school, because right now they're going to hide it from us, these religious preachers, right? But wherever they learned from, someone always tells them the Quran is corrupted. But then it's like a little cheat sheet between them. They shut up and they come to us, the public, and they're like, no, it's not. Ha. But whoever they're learning from will always tell them. So they're not little poor babies. You know? They always know. And God will guide them even if no one told them. Because it's the same way he guides us. We're looking at it and we're thinking this is filth. What do you mean God said this? What do you mean as a woman you get to do this to somebody? You know? What do you mean as a man you get to do this to somebody? It's disgusting. And the women, the way they use her to abuse others is the child. A mother is her paradise. Hell no. Paradise is not under nobody. We are human beings. You either become good or bad. If you're good, you go to paradise because you earned it yourself. So this is just like a student, okay, and a teacher situation. We earn things from God. We earn the A. If we're struggling, we ask for help. But hell no. Is a creation of God going to be your paradise? It's under her feet. And that's so evil because there's evil humans. That means there's evil mothers. What kind of nonsense? As long as it's illogical, it's going to be immoral. And as long as it's immoral, it's going to be illogical. And therefore, it's unjust. And since it's unjust, you and I know God is not unjust. It's false. It's corruption. It's a lie. The demon came in again. So there's beautiful parts of the Bible that can connect to all this. The devil is a liar, thief, and he comes to destroy, right? The devil comes to steal, destroy. You guys get the point. I'm in a rush right now. Okay, so I just want you to remember then, gods and goddesses. I believe the way God is guiding me right now, I don't believe they represent prophets. I believe they represent angels. And guess how they always do it? In anything you've ever seen, whether it's books, whether it's movies or cartoons, whatever it is, the gods and the goddesses seem to be in some place similar to heaven, right? The sort of white, just white, okay? Not light, right? No, not white. Sorry, that's confusing. Light. Just visualize the light. Like that. It's like this sort of light-colored place, right? And then they show you this other place that's darkness, this hateful sort of god that's king, right? And that goddess over there that owns that place, she controls the water. He can like that, right? So they show you light, and then they show you darkness, right? A dark color. So the dark is being represented by exactly the bad gods and goddesses. And they tell you things like they die, they get punished, they get taken up, but they still respect the fact that above all of them, there's a main God. Can you believe this? Even though they're calling them gods and goddesses. Because God will not let Satan lie to you too much. He could say nonsense. He can call gods and goddesses all he wants. But that central team, the main powerful creator out there, the devil has to leave that out. Okay, so here's what I think that represents. I think that represents angels. And that sort of beautiful light, heavenly-like place, exactly is their world, wherever they're in, right? Who knows, maybe they live in their own world, right? Is what you could assume. And then they come to heaven to do the job that God makes them do. Angels do things in heaven, right? They guard it, they do things. When you and I die, whoever goes to paradise, you're going to see them. They're going to help you, like that. So then people could assume then, right, then they don't live themselves for their own fun enjoyment, right? Because they're helping and assisting those who went to heaven. That's something we don't want to waste our time on. That's too much. Knowledge, we just want to focus on the basics. We just want to make sure things are fair and just and moral, and we understand all the species God created, but we're not going to go too far. But based on what we can conclude, they work there, okay? They work. So I believe the devil corrupted the identity of angels into gods and goddesses. And you might be like, that's a cool idea. It makes kind of sense. They're powerful, they're supernatural, and he made it seem as if they're gods and goddesses instead of angels, right? And the main sort of big figure they create as a god is actually our Lord. Yay! Okay, but guess what that means? Gods and goddesses, male and female. They're male and female. And to be honest with you, whatever human beings produce as art or anything or story, including what they tell you happened in human history, it's always male and it's always female that are together. Masculine and feminine are always together because that's the way God created nature. He doesn't create two masculine and two feminine, and he doesn't create one and not the other. Another thing that would also do is the devil or evil or you could actually assume that then God himself is either of them. So if, for example, angels were only masculine, then you could assume they're just like God. That's dangerous. But if there's a feminine with them, then you're just going to think they're a creation of God. They have to have some weakness because we hear feminine and masculine. We all just assume they're like us. They breed. It doesn't have to be the way we breed, right? It doesn't mean they have children. They could just all be created as these grown adults who are angels and of male and female. You get me like that? You're all going to either way assume they're still weak, right? That they're just supernatural, but they're weak. They're in their own world. And the king, the Lord, is above, right? He hates that. He wants you to think either God has to come down and be similar to us at some point, or okay, fine, it's great and powerful, but he wants you to at least think the masculine is dominant over the feminine. So he has to then say angels are only masculine, so that then you connect that masculineness to God, right? He is what's used, right, in the Qur'an. We don't know if that's how God describes himself, right? But the he, right, the he, and obviously in the Qur'an also sometimes we, either way, right, that's sort of masculine that they would put it into if you had nothing to put it into. If you look at it and a human said to you, I don't give you a choice. Put it into masculine or feminine. You don't put it into masculine. See, masculine doesn't mean men. It just means masculine, okay? Just think of it as like an energy, right? Masculine and then feminine, like that. Don't visualize a body, okay? They have their own ways that they were designed. So then you're accidentally going to connect God sooner or later to an angel. Sooner or later. You're going to be like, they're masculine, therefore they're similar to the Lord because he's masculine. That's what you're going to think. He's not going to call him masculine, but he's still going to be like he's masculine-ish, you know. Now you're finished because now women are out the picture. Feminine is out. That's gross. Because when God creates nature, exactly, he made masculine and feminine, they're unrelated, and they come together and they mate. So then they enter multiple species. Demons. So demons have feminine and masculine. So the devil, right? There has to have been some female out there that he was with. And then, exactly, human race, masculine and feminine. Okay. Animals, masculine and feminine. Pests, masculine and feminine. If animals are just here to eat you and bother you, why do they have masculine and feminine? Don't be like they need to breed and reproduce and find me again. No. The hell, they could have breeded some other way. They could have just been created some other way. Right? They could have breeded some other way. Sorry. They could have just been reproduced, kept being created some other way. Because exactly, they don't need to be here like you and I. Why do they need to live here? Why are they here? You know? We have to go back to Adam and Eve. Animals were created as a symbol and as a symbolism of God's qualities, for you to see his qualities, that when he created this pattern for us. Masculine and feminine. This beautiful energy of feminine, this wonderful, gentle, yet very strong energy. And this wonderful, very loving, right? Gentle in ways that are rational, masculine energy, right? Yet aggressive energy. Because I didn't say aggressive for the male. Yet aggressive and very strong for the male. And right, yet aggressive and very strong for the female. We're all strong. But due to how many billions of centuries we've been on this earth and how much sin has been happening, how our bodies are changing, how we don't know what happened. We're not like Adam and Eve anymore. And then demons come in and curse a gender. They curse a race. They curse the human race. They put curses on us. So that's why females just are born and they just think they're not good at math and science. They just think they're scared of a male who could try to rape her. But she's not necessarily scared of the one who insults her, right? It's like there's a curse on your bloodline, and then there's a curse on your blood, your own blood, and then your DNA. Okay, so at some point the devil targeted a gender. Exactly what you think he cursed the gender with. That's female. Be scared of males. And the rapist specifically, because he's actually going after the body. Is it her body? No. If he was to rape a male, then it's that type of body, right? It doesn't matter, just body. People are not that scared of a murderer, right? Because it's different. The rapist destroys nature. He comes after nature itself. So it's the worst evil God created. He destroys Adam and Eve, everybody. Imagine if Adam and Eve were destroyed. We're all gone. So that's why when prophets and messengers come back, when someone like me comes to help you, the first evil we're going to stop is the pervert. The pervert and the sexist. So all prophets and messengers have been accused of perversion and sexism. That's the worst evil. That's the worst thing you could be. That's the worst thing to accuse someone of. But that's the thing those people they keep accusing of being like that, that's what they always stop first. If I help you all, I'm not going to help you with money first. Yes, I came to I came to help all of us get wealthy. We're all going to be wealthy soon. But the first thing I'm going to stop is the rapist. I'm going to stop the one going after abortion rights. I'm going to go after the Muslims and the Christians and everyone who uses scripture, who they just are obsessed with this gender. You're going to leave them alone because a woman is going to make you do it. We don't need some man to come and beat you up. You're going to learn laws of nature. There's no weak gender here. Your Lord doesn't hate my gender. But if you've had a devil go after them who lives way before they were born, right? We're just the children of Adam and Eve. If that wicked thing is out there and he's watching all of us and gets to curse this group, there's always strong women over there. Okay, he looks at these ones and he says he's going to corrupt these ones to be weak cowards. And he looks at some males, he corrupts them. Okay, don't you dare go there with me. This is not difficult to understand. The weakness comes out of both sides. There's males over there that he says, he can corrupt them to be weak. And now they allow themselves to be raped. Okay? They become homosexuals because of that. They go on with it. Please don't go there. Don't go there with me. We have weak people of both sides. But if you always have a news that's controlled by the devil, he controls everything, and you literally see the news always talk about rape, and you just see female, and males, when they're raped, they don't tell you. That's why I just told you. Some of them are the shooters. Some of them are the ones running around this earth, creating horrible crimes, right? They're the ones going after women's rights when they become your politician. You can see it on their face. They seem hurt. They seem traumatized. They seem like they have some sort of painful past, but then they turned it into a hatred for women. Instead of just a bad person, you know? You can tell there's something going on with him that's connected to women, that's connected to his own masculinity. It's damaged. So they're probably victims to rape or molestation as young boys or older. And they think, let me become a vice president, let me become a president and take abortion rights. Ha, now I look like a tough, scary male. They think by abusing that gender, they can look somehow stronger. Is that what they think? No, it's just hatred. Because exactly, either they were raped or molested, and they thinking to themselves, why did you allow it? You could have fought. What the hell's wrong with you? Why? And then they say to themselves, the devil comes to them and says to them, you can overcome this by constantly portraying the other gender as the weak one. So you don't feel like you chose a weak path. Is he weak? No. But he chose a weak path. And whatever is attacking his mind and saying, what the hell's wrong with you? Why didn't you fight? Is the conscience God created, because he actually was supposed to fight and he could have fought. That conscience will come to females. And they like to shut you up and say, we're victims. You're victim blaming us. Don't tell us to fight. We're females. Why are you cursing your gender? There's women who are even 4 or 5 years old who escape rape and murder. Leave leave the gender alone. It's you who's weak. So how the hell are you gonna learn as a human race what I just did for you in the past few seconds, the aggressive way I just spoke? How? Unless God creates a strong woman for you to learn from. You're never gonna learn the qualities that some males are trying to teach you as females if you don't have an example. Just like religion, we need an example. Someone who's very moral. Prophets, right? They don't commit sins like those people. They're never going to kill. They're never going to steal. They're never going to cheat. They're never going to do nothing. Small little thing. Tiny little sins. And God could even make sure that never happens. They're so powerful for a reason, because your character, they're an example for you. They're role models. But they also have to be an example for you, since morality enters fighting, right? You have to fight. If you're a strong person in your morality, you're obviously not going to let evil happen to you, right? Because get it? You're moral. When you see someone trying to rape someone else, when you see someone trying to steal, you're the first brave person to enter the environment and stop it. So you can't let it happen to you, therefore. So it affects you, how you treat your body. So morality is not just some opinion or perspective. It's actually how you see yourself. Because you honor yourself, you honor other people. So therefore, they can be your leaders because they love themselves. They're going to therefore love you. They don't lack something inside. So then that means no one can harm them. Okay, but then they're going to teach you the same concepts that I'm trying to teach you right now. And you're never going to let anyone harm you. That's not rational. How can their character be bad? How can your prophet be a rapist or a 9-year-old? How can he cheat? How can he have 11? What the hell are they talking about? What's going on here? Males are created with all this sexual data. Don't you dare use the word sexual with me. Perversion entered the room. Then why wasn't your prophet Adam accused of having 11 Eves? Isn't he supernatural? Well, Eve was supernatural. She fulfilled him. You evil, wicked doers. You're going to connect perversion to desire? Okay, but let's go there. Let's go to where you're going. And let's finish it there. Then God would have created this female creation, right? Just like you. They have to then sexually, not perversion, normal sexual desire, they have to complete you. Though you're the one who exposing yourself that you're crazy and lying, you're possessed. See, I just connected craziness to your immorality, right? So craziness always connects to being a bad person because you're crazy. You're not using logic. Crazy doesn't mean you necessarily act crazy. It just means you're not logical. Okay, but morality is logical. Immorality is not logical. Right? Immorality is evil. Good is here. Another name for good is morality. Immorality is another name for evil. Okay, another name for morality and good is logic. Another name for evil, immorality, is crazy because it's illogical. So demons are thinking. Being crazy, aka mental illness, is connected to being a bad character, right? A bad person. You're a criminal, you're a terrorist, you beat someone up, you murder. Okay. But then they connected it. Exactly. That's the worst character of the immoralities. They separated it. Right? Because you would agree there's 3 distinct crimes in the human race that God created. There's 3 distinct evils. Evil is many types, but there's 3 distinct ones. The pervert, the murderer or the violent one, and the one who steals. So thief, violent or murder, and rape. Okay? And rape can be like molestation. There's other ones that we could list with rape, right? The pervert, murder, and thief. Everybody? I actually think in the Bible it probably could have been the devil comes to steal, kill, and rape. Because what do you mean destroy, right? But if right, that was the term, then okay, destroy sort of fits the other areas, right? He obviously destroys everything. If you're gonna use all other evil other than the stealing and the thief, right? I just think you get me, that could be one way. So now that I explained this to you, just as Eve can fulfill Adam, these females on this earth can fulfill you as a male who's unrelated, normal humans who choose each other. And yes, you have to look physically equal and close in your physicality. One should not be more than One should not be too ugly. One, hell no. Are you going to mix ugly and good here? We're not going to mix ugly and good looking here. Not good. I mean good looking. So beautiful people should not be marrying ugly people. Okay? We're different in our beauty. You could be a beautiful person in terms of as a species if we look at you, right? But then that person could be so beautiful compared to you that now it seems like we have to call you ugly. You know what I'm saying? But okay, we don't do that, obviously. We just put human beings into like a medium. You know, we wouldn't call them too ugly. But okay, you don't want to call anyone ugly. You just want to acknowledge the fact that God created like lower levels of beauty than medium, than high. But see, why? Why? Because the high level is supposed to marry the high, the medium is supposed to marry the medium, and the low is supposed to marry the low. Don't be like, well, we need everyone to get some benefits of the beauty. Let's let the high marry the low. I just told you. Then, no, I actually didn't tell you. Human beings are not objects. Okay, so I just told you, right? We're not objects. If it was an object, you could be like, let's fix this inefficiency or deficiency here by mixing it with something great over there. Okay, but this is a human. You get me? They're beautiful. That means you're taking away their rights to enjoy being sexual with their spouse, which is exactly, last time I checked, sex means you're using the body. Okay, so that means the body. The body is what's touching here, the body. They're not doing math together. Body. So if the body is ugly compared to their body, there's no sex here. It's disgusting. It's unenjoyable. So in order for you to let this person enjoy, right, sex, in order for you to let them enjoy the beauty God gave them, they need someone just as beautiful as them. So that now they actually have the ability to enjoy the situation. There's nothing to enjoy. This person, they don't want to touch their leg. Their leg is ugly compared to them. So everything God does has to always follow that rule. Masculine and feminine, and everything has to be just. You can't give one person something the other one doesn't have, and vice versa. You can't take something away from somebody because it's not necessarily, you think, human rights like food or shelter, and you just act like beauty and all these things like morality. You make it seem as if it's not human rights, and then you make it seem as if it's not that human right to have someone of same beauty or someone of same morality. That's the devil who taught you that. So that then he could say a really righteous person should marry a lowly person. He accused Prophet Lot of marrying a wicked female who followed the homosexuals who were destroyed. Hell no, did my prophet go through that. Now I have full faith in that. Because one, I know supernatural people have to marry supernatural people. And I just told you, God doesn't just create random supernatural people. It's only prophets and messengers who are supernatural in the human species. So they're always marrying another prophet. They're always marrying another messenger. If you're like, well, we don't have a story of it. We don't know who Prophet Jesus married. We don't know who so-and-so. I actually think in this lifetime, they tell you Prophet Jesus will get married, right? You're going to see he's going to marry a supernatural woman leader God will choose. You'll see it. And if I'm going to get married, it has to be a supernatural man. Okay? I'm not like a human male. I'm not like a human female. I'm supernatural. So why would I marry a human male? Okay? I'm better than you in certain situations. Not the better that's evil, right? Like Satan saying I'm better. But get it? I'm supernatural. My morality is higher than yours. That means the other quality of me being supernatural is my sexuality is pure. You're gonna cheat. Okay? You could become evil and rape someone. You're gonna do things that don't reflect me. The other thing about supernatural people that God taught me, because I have their ability, I have their qualities. That's like me discovering my qualities and not understanding who I am all throughout my life. But then God now guiding me to who I am and connecting it to the prophets now helps me understand every weird situation about them is fake, because I wouldn't do it and I wouldn't be in that situation. So I always told my Lord, who am I supposed to marry? If I'm supernatural in the sense that it's not just some cool power, right? Some cool ability to see demons maybe. But if it's actually sexuality-wise, I'm only created to mate and be sexual only with one man forever, not this time, okay? Because this time will end, we're going to have the next life. But if it's going to be even in the next life, forever and ever and ever and ever, that's how pure my sexuality is. I can only be with one person. Obviously, the devil hates that. He teaches you, the human beings who are not created like that, to not see that the romantic way it obviously is. So he says, aren't people going to get bored of each other? What do you mean bored? It's so disgusting. That's obviously a demon, okay? We'll talk about that another time. But they don't want you to know God actually creates a masculine and a feminine, right? Like Adam and Eve. Who exactly, they're just made for each other, that's it. It's over, it's a case closed. But why? See, we still have to ask why. See, you guys, the answer to the fact that the bored stuff that I just said earlier, the Adam and Eve also stops it. See, God just made me randomly think of this. That's how you know he's guiding you and me. Adam and Eve, you wouldn't say they get bored with each other. Okay, so then these males and females who say that, we have a problem. One is immoral, or one is marrying the wrong person. That's why I just told you. You see, this is how you know what I'm telling you is true. You need to marry someone of equal beauty as you, because that's why some people are cheating. This person is ugly to them, okay? Then please don't go there. Don't try to act like we need to not hurt people's feelings. No one's hurting anybody's feelings. One day, someone is going to be 10 times more beautiful than me, okay? So we don't mean ugly to hurt anybody. We just mean compared to them, you're ugly. Leave them alone. Goodness, God created someone for you of your own range, and there's many of them, like hundreds. You can just, one of them and you will pick each other. You're not supposed to pick them, because that's obviously, here we go again. No one's an object. You don't get to pick anybody. So that's why devil literally uses that word, pick-up lines. Pick up a girl, pick up a boy. You guys see how logical what I'm telling you is? It's connected to everything. Demons are just observing how God creates our nature. Everything, no matter what the species is, it's always equal. God brings this masculine and feminine together. They're both going to make you happy as a human race. You're going to be like, wow, they look great together. Beautiful. Oh, the woman is tough, strong warrior. Woo, some prophet of God. Oh, the man is also a powerful prophet of God. Yay, you're all going to just see there's always that equality, that balance in the nature, in the sexuality, in the morality, everything. So since you human beings are just regular human beings, you're not going to always see that, correct? Who God chose for you is like that, get it? Who he chose for you is always going to be as lowly as you that moment. He's not going to send you some righteous person. Is he saying then it's okay to be lowly? No, he still has to let you mate, okay? But he's still being just. He's not sending you anybody that's too good for you or more evil than you. Your job and what he wants for you, right, is to repent and change and be good so that you could actually be the way you were supposed to be earlier. Earlier when you were just babies, you were supposed to be moral. You were supposed to be like your parents. So one thing demons don't want you to know is they want you to think evil is normal. They want you to think it's not normal for evil to not happen. They want you to think there's bad people everywhere. Why would crime not happen? They actually want you to think that's just somehow like the way things are. No, when God created the human race and brought Adam and Eve here, right? And then the human race developed, right? When he created Adam and Eve, and then we were here, and then, right, all these children, you and I, all of us come out. The intention, right? The actual plan was not that then wicked ones come out and they fight and the good ones come out and they beat you up. No, it was actually for all of us to be moral people. You might be like, we know that. We obviously know God is good. No, not that. It actually was possible. It actually was possible for there to have never had one rape happen, one murder happen. It's actually possible that every human was a good person, that we would just find one or two crazy ones and we just take them out of the picture. This wasn't the way things had to be. You get me? If evil entered the picture, evil doesn't have to win just because, right, it's out there and it enters some hearts. No. That's why Adam and Eve both had the quality of teaching you, right? Look, I just thought of the word teach. I swear to God, I'm not looking at any notes or anything. They all had the right knowledge, or I'm sorry, quality of teaching you. But see, the devil diminished it to Adam. They act like Adam taught us everything and not Eve. God have mercy. And they take away that quality where she hunts with him and does everything equally with him. I told you, if the first evil the devil chose to put into God's religion, and then, right, affects this world everywhere you go, that's always the problem, it's always women's rights, he has to take away then the historical and the ancient knowledge and history and fact that when God created us, the masculine and the feminine were always equal. Everything, money, life, responsibility of children, success, happiness, beauty, right? If one is supernatural, then there's another supernatural one over there. One always had this blessing that the other one has. But see, the whole species cannot have the same blessings, right? Because I just told you, there's people more beautiful than each other. Okay, but the person of beauty level number 7 is going to marry someone of beauty level number 7. See, it's still going to be the equalness between the two genders that in this specific situation have to interact in the situation. If they're two genders who are complete strangers, they're just doing a job together at a company, God intends that they both have the same equal pay and equal rights and equal ability to do the job. You know? Wherever you meet these two types, right? Feminine and masculine, everything God intended it to always be equal between them. Everything. So yes, women were warriors. They were hunting. They were doing whatever. They diminished only to the male. And whatever they took away from the male, right? You having some cool artistic abilities, like maybe knitting or something else, or whatever you want to do. Because get it? You're making a sweater. We don't mean knitting like just sitting there, and that one's too fishy. Only God knows. Okay, but right, in terms of like an activity, a skill, building, and I know you believe that. You believe men can be fashion designers, right? That's what I meant by knitting, right? Like fashion designers, building a dress, something, whatever. It's just money. You're just trying to make money, gosh. Don't we all need to wear something? So this man can build clothes. Who cares? There's a woman over there who builds clothes like that. You can design whatever you would say is not creepy or weird. It's something normal we all need to survive, like food, clothing, a house. There has to always be a woman who does the same thing as you. You build this beautiful architecture. You build all these beautiful infrastructure, tall buildings. You need to hire women engineers. But my muscles. It's not about muscle. It's just work. She can learn. She can train her body. But the demons don't want you to remember that. An employer should help her train her body. You know? Just as an employer would train you. They don't say you're dumb. Get off my job. You don't know it already. Society was supposed to train her to be a hunter. But see, demons, the entire corruptions of religion and about God's identity is always centered on sexism. And the sexism then breeds perversion. Okay? So if that's the whole goal, because see, in his mind as a devil, he's just looking at your parents. Right? He's that miserable thing roaming around, as people said. And he's looking at two people. He doesn't really see how he can destroy them. He doesn't see what's distinct about them, except their gender. Get it? So he's thinking, let's put this gender against the other one. Yay! Now, what could I possibly create to put that gender down? Oh, let me act like she can't do what he could do by lying to them about history. Not just saying to them she can't do it, but even history. Let me act like women never hunted. Let me act like over time it was males who hunted and she did the other stuff. I forgot what they said she did. You know? And over time they completely destroyed that and they say she should just stay home. See? Hunting symbolized in this current world that we live in, workplace, it actually symbolizes just having a job. So if men were hunting back then and you believe women were doing something too, you don't believe she stayed home, why are you telling these ones to stay home? You guys get on my nerves. We're gonna be okay, okay? So anyways, now that you know, I believe, right, therefore, angels, not only do they have masculine and feminine, because it would destroy nature. God created masculine and feminine in every situation. It's a pattern. And they always have to be equal. And they're like these two great friends that just roam a place together. I remember this early morning today, I thought of women prophets, and I thought to myself, my Lord, how were they? Like, what type of women were they? You know what I mean? We could all assume they're strong, but I don't mean that. I just mean, like, how were they? Instantly, I saw these two birds fly out. They're far away from me in a tree. And in my knowledge, I think they were male and female is what I was being guided to. You get me? instantly they fly. But how did I see that? It's so far away. I'm like on the groundish like level, and they're high, way above in a tree area. God let my head turn and see that. And they had this beautiful energy, like, I know, right? Yeah. They were just laughing and they were just flying away, as you can feel like they're chatting, you know? And I remember those cartoons as I was a kid, learning Islam, the Prophet stories. That always hit my heart. Just so you Muslims and people all over the world just know. I always felt like I knew my prophets. I always felt like I knew God himself, right? And I always had this extreme. I don't mean like the way you could just love. No. You guys don't have it. This extreme sort of awareness or knowledge of what God is showing me through the cartoons that those humans were inspired to create. Because they're the best cartoons. You're not going to find them anywhere on YouTube now. The way they describe the devil as this sort of main character. Demons who work for him don't know anything. He just uses them. Get out of here, you loser. You're just going to laugh at it. That's how he is. This sort of ancient old-like thing. You know what I mean? And they just come to him. They report to him. They tell him what they're doing. It doesn't work. They sit together. They're like a human bad people, you know? And the way that he's just so jealous of Adam and Eve. I never saw in those cartoons the jealousy was about humans, or the jealousy was about males, or that the jealousy, I always saw he's jealous of the two of them. The two of them when they're together, not when they're separate. When they're together. The sort of beautiful way it looks. They complement each other, because God does not create two masculine and two feminine. Masculine and feminine complement each other. But see, in this world, they took away the strength aspect of the female. So you think that complements the other? What the hell? That's not rational. That doesn't complement in this way. Because if something has to complement you in the sense that you can't have it, but the other person should have it, then it should be something that doesn't endanger you. If I'm not really understanding something, and you do, it doesn't hurt me. But if I'm so dumb at math, that hurts me. You know? I need to have the ability to understand the math. I can have a hard time understanding something specifically, but the entire ability to learn a math equation, if you said, right, a human should not know, it's not a big deal. She's a female, that male knows it. You know that's destructive. She can't pass the school. Right? Or vice versa. Maybe it's not male and female, like that. So whatever you would say is dangerous if someone doesn't know how to do it because it's harmful to their life. They need the skill, right? Like how to cook goodness. Sooner or later, you're going to have to learn to cook. You're going to have to learn to eat a certain way, right? Mix things together. You can't say God took that away from women. They have the ability to fight. They have the ability to stop the rapist and the murderer. They do. So that's why then God did not create in them any weakness that would prevent them. And don't come here with this nonsense that males just naturally are born with the ability to fight. What do you mean? If we have to teach you, that seems weird. Why didn't God? No. The average male doesn't know how to fight either. If someone tries to jump him, he might just fall to the ground. Please don't go there with me. Males learn to fight. Males go and actually build muscle. They exercise. I don't want to hear that nonsense. You might just have a muscle, but that doesn't mean you know how to use it. So women were supposed to be taught how to fight, goodness, just like you teach her the science you taught her in 8th grade. But if the devil wants to use the fact that, yes, he has a muscle and she doesn't, to then make it seem as if, what's the point of teaching her? You know? Yeah, we taught her for her safety, but she's not equal to me then, because she doesn't have it. She doesn't have my muscle. But that's a body type. That's a body quality. She can have a baby, you can't. Are you saying if something's a good skill, a good quality, you know, that was made to be distinctive between the two of you, that's not rational. You can't give birth and she can't give birth. So this is one where you're going to be careful. Okay? You have the muscle. We're not saying she needs to go and build a muscle. You see? She just needs to simply know how to defend herself. She just needs to simply learn how to fight. She just needs to know how to stop an evil thing. She doesn't need your muscle. Because the muscle was given to you to be a distinct thing for your masculinity, right? As a male human, goodness. The angels don't have muscles. Like that. It's something God created as a test. Because if angels are masculine and feminine, you would agree with me, that doesn't make sense to the human female. Those angel females are powerful. They'll kill, they'll do everything. So then exactly, you would then think to yourself, if that's what God does for angels and for demons, right? Their females are strong. They have supernatural abilities. Then why wasn't the human female given a muscle? To be honest with you, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know this, but this is what I'm thinking. The male is using the muscle to rape males at some point, correct? Again, they don't fight, okay? But I'm just saying, the ability, right? Okay. It's like, to me, it seems like God is not going to give females the muscle because he doesn't want them to have the same dynamic as those males. So he won't give them the muscle. So that maybe there's a balance. So that maybe rape is not an issue here. That would destroy everything. Everything. But the other ways you can assume, right? That muscle doesn't mean, I just told you, he can be jumped. His muscle doesn't mean anything for him. The males who are more bulkier than him, okay, the bulkiness, if you think that's what strength means, if you think muscle is a big deal, and if you don't have it, you're weaker than me, well, what about the males who have a bigger, gigantic body and you don't have it as a skinny male? Are you going to say then they're more masculine than you? They're a man and you're not, you're a female? So you see what I'm saying? There are things that you can't connect to it. You can't connect to masculinity. You can't connect to femininity. It's just a distinct way God created you, yes. But you can't connect it to your strength as a man. Because you can still fight and kill him, no matter how bulky he is. So it doesn't matter if she doesn't have that muscle. She can still kill you. Just like you can kill the one who's bulkier than you. So that's how then it is. It's just like a cat versus a zebra. So I just want you males to see the muscle as like a fat person. It's just more weight. It's just more heaviness. It doesn't imply the ability to actually get out of a dangerous situation, right? And actually, if you think about it, God created a way for women to fight. It's the way you see Asian dramas, the way they have that sort of acne kai. You get me? Because their body would be more fast. So think of it that way. A male, the way he would fight is heaviness, muscle. That's what then the more they want to have weight, right? The more they want to get more bulkier, to them is more weight, right? It's more heaviness. Not necessarily more strength, right? I just told you it's not strength, right? This male who's skinnier than you can kill you. There has to be a balance. Why would, just because you're a bulky body, God allow you to then just naturally always have dominance over those who are skinnier than you? Then the God is already setting them up for danger, correct? God doesn't set us up. It's just something you have. Okay, but in order for him to at least allow the other group to just simply defend themselves, right? They don't need to look like your body, correct? Because that destroys many things. People's authenticity. Do they want to look bulky? Do they not? That's obviously creepy. Some people, the bulky, it goes too far. Two, the feminine, exactly. She doesn't need to look like that. That's creepy. It distorts her ability to look exactly that sort of gentle way you think. Okay. So what I'm saying is humans just simply need to have the ability and just simply the way to just defend themselves. Stop connecting it to a muscle. Stop connecting it to a certain image of how it should look like. It doesn't need to look like A or B. If she's not your gender, she doesn't need to fight like you. Do you agree? She's not your gender. So that means God created a way for women to fight that fits her. It doesn't ever hurt the ability for her to look feminine. But guess what that's going to then allow her to do? Exactly what I was just saying earlier. It's possible that the way that would fit her would be like being fast. Because you're heavy, right? Hers would be fat and actually fits it. A fat person, usually how do they do it in those comedy movies? Right? This person who's trying to deal with them, right? They go left, right with their neck, right? They're trying to confuse this fat, heavy person, right? Just like even animals, you confuse the gigantic, heavy, slow animals. Exactly. The other animals, that you would say don't have that quality, their body is more smaller in that sort of shape, right? Like a cat maybe. Guess what the cat does? It's fast. You don't even know how it hits your face all of a sudden. But you agree a lion is not fast. He's slow and calculative. So do you see what I'm saying? Animals are actually a way for us to learn many of the ways our ancestors used to fight and females used to fight, because God is creating a quality in the male or in the masculine that's human, okay? Not angels, they have power. A quality that would really link to just size. You're just heavy. You're heavy, okay? She does not need heavy. Imagine heavy and heavy. What the hell? Exactly opposites. We need something that can destroy the heavy. Right? Does it have to be that way? No. It can be heavy, okay? I'm just saying that's your quality as a male. Okay? And God, as her femininity, didn't give her that. Okay, so then that means he has to give her something else. He has to give her something else. I'm just assessing it could be, I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm just assessing it could be speed. Okay, and do you see how logical it is? Usually females are slim, right? Their body is small. You agree you can run fast when you're slim, right? You can be quick. You can confuse him. You can, like that. The acne Kai, Asian type of females who fight, that type of style of fighting that humans have already done in human history. And they show you in movies. That's how women can fight. You agree it's very dangerous. They're hitting areas of the body you can't necessarily see how she hit it. She hits this, right, part of the body that's like way internal, like a part of the knee that's extremely painful. They don't hit your knee because you can maybe try to stop it. Boom, you're like, ouch, and the person falls to the ground, and now you hit the neck, and it's like, it's better. Stop telling my gender to fight like you. It's not your gender. They don't have to do what you do. They don't have the same body as you. You can't be like, I thought you told us everything was equality. That's based on rights. Get it? Human rights. It's our rights. I still proved it to you. Because I just told you, you have a way of fighting to defend yourself. It's only you if you don't choose to fight, goodness, that bad things happen. But I just told you that needs to have the same right to fight. Correct? I still proved it. That she needs a way to fight. We just as human beings need to go figure out what the hell that was. We lost it. That doesn't mean God didn't teach them yet, and he's going to teach it in my lifetime. That would still mean God is unjust. Why didn't he teach them before? I'm saying they had it. Can you please follow? They had it. Because those females who were gigantic, when Adam and Eve had children, you're not going to tell me the females were being raped left and right. No. You're not going to be like, well, the males were gigantic too. That means they were more gigantic than her because they were masculine. The gigantic is equal between them. They just had a muscle. Well, how many? It's just a bone that just seems to be thick, okay? Everybody has bones, you agree? It's like the male bone is just thick, okay? Don't call it strength. Because strength implies that's the only way. And there's no other way to be strong also. Just call it a muscle. Use the English language for a reason. Muscle. No one calls that strength. Strength implies in this moment you defeated this one. Strength, correct? So all human beings, if you're talking about the other type of strength, we all have strength. People who don't learn what I just told you females have learned to fight, obviously fight their own way. Everybody has their own way. Even when knowledge is gone and the devil got away with this, it doesn't matter. They're human beings. That moment they'll figure it out. If they're not someone who wants to be weak and let someone rape or kill or touch them, they'll figure it out because the brain is created to just be like, what should I do the whole time? It's logical. You just bite them and run away and you're like, well, how did I bite them? I never heard that. Get it? It's survival. The brain will figure it out for you. You just need the quality. Just simply the quality of morality that your body is honorable and it's not going to be touched or be treated like that. So you see how morality connects to strength? So, right? I need to hurry up. Because, right, prophets are like that. Because the women will come as prophets to train the women than human, regular females. Prophets would always come to train the males who are regular human males. They're always there for your role model. So since everybody needs a role model in morality like prophets, Exactly. Muslims always used to say that. How is a prophet a role model? Again, I used to say that. I don't think they said. I don't remember it. But I always used to say at the back of my mind, wait a minute. They just said our prophet is a role model for us. That means he cannot be a role model for women. Because there's areas that have nothing to do with just morality that every gender, right, both genders can mix with and just learn from him. But wait a minute. Some of the things they're saying he's a role model, right? Like just how to be a strong man, like that. Well, who's going to teach women how to be a strong woman? What about areas of just her body cycle and everything like that? How should they treat it? If there's a war and they're having pregnancy, right? Or if they're having menstrual cycle, what should they do? There's no males around maybe, like that. So do you see? It's logical that God has to send you supernatural women. Just like your prophets, not less, okay? Don't be like, okay, fine, we agree. But don't you dare then lower them and act like they're weaker or something. No one is a higher rank. The whole idea of rank is gone. Therefore, your prophet males, Shaitan also made them into lower ranks. He even said, prophets are better than each other. So, you see, I told you, the devil doesn't really discriminate. You think he just goes after women's rights. No, you can see he goes after you also. It's just when there's a woman and a man. Remember I said earlier? He's just looking at Adam and Eve, not you and I. We're just children. He's looking at the actual two people he hates, okay? Those two, he's thinking to himself, not he hates, sorry, not that kind of hate. It's like a jealousy. He's jealous of them. I didn't say he looks at Eve and he's jealous of her. I didn't say he looks at Adam and he's jealous of him. I said he's jealous of them. What do you mean? What I mean is their combination. He doesn't like the combination. He doesn't like the way the masculine and the feminine just work so great together. I know it doesn't make sense, right? Why does he care, right? But he just thinks to himself, an enemy is weak if both of them are together. He has to split them up. So for that reason, he doesn't just attack one gender. So that means the area where the story is saying that this was just between Satan and Adam, right? Satan is told to prostrate to Adam from God. That story to me seems corrupted. I see fishiness now. Because Eve has to be in the picture. And since I just said God is fair, right? He's not unjust. And feminine and masculine always need to come together. They're unrelated. Of course, it doesn't make sense Adam is created first and then Eve. Why? God is not weak. He's not slow. He doesn't need some time to figure this body out. Why is it not developed? Why is it not cooking enough? It's not a microwave. He's your Lord. He just literally can just think of something. It just comes out and it becomes what he wants it to be. So even the idea where Islam says, oh, God says be, and then something becomes, even that's not healthy for you. Because then you think he has to speak. Do you see how logical it is? It's not healthy for you. He doesn't have to say be. So I think that's corrupted. I swear, I think even that's corrupted. What I mean by corrupted is what it originally said. That's true, right? God can just say be and something can happen. Something will happen. Goodness, my words are getting ruined. But exactly, is that really how he would want you to hear him and understand his power as a God? No, right? Because then distortion will enter. What if God doesn't speak like that? God just simply should just have the ability, right, to just want something and it should happen. That's better. Like that, it should just happen. He should just think of it and it should happen. Because before you speak, you thought about it first, right? The thinking is first. So he would have the ability and the power for something to be the way he wants it to be if he just thinks of it. That's crazy, man. They even say as Muslims, if you go to paradise, right, that in paradise you're just going to think of something and it's going to pop up. You think of this cool food and it's just going to boom. Hi, you want to eat me? You know, I don't mean that's what it's going to say. Goodness, you can't eat some stocking. I just mean the idea. See? So even humans, you believe when you're in paradise, that's your experience. And see, you also believe in paradise, you're not going to have these bodies. You believe you're going to be similar, not supernatural, right, in that sense, but you believe you're going to be supernatural in another way. Exactly, your bodies are big, it's unique. Not supernatural as in like you have power. See, I have to separate what supernatural means. Just supernatural, right? You're in the supernatural world. Your bodies don't look like these weak bodies we all have. That's supernatural, right? Okay. But you don't have any power. Versus the supernatural, I'm telling you, prophets have power. The supernatural, I'm telling you, angels have power, right? They actually have power. You humans are not going to have power when you go to paradise, but you're going to become supernatural in that sense. Your body looks different. It's big, it's tall, it's scary, right? Do you see then how dumb it is to believe that your Lord didn't create a woman as a prophet? See? Because even in paradise, you're still falling into what I just told you you all have to fall into. That every species has to fall into. This masculine and this feminine that seem to always be the exact same way. The only difference is the gender, right? So the sort of body, right? The private parts are what's... If you ask me what's sort of the difference when we say gender, the private parts are different because they're opposites, they have to connect. Right? You can't have the same private parts. Two, and don't be like, oh, if we flip it, and no, don't do a nest. The gender is already the opposite. It's feminine and you're masculine, and vice versa. So that's already how you're opposite. But then I'm talking about the body, okay? So your energy is masculine and feminine. That's sort of then what made you opposite. Okay? We don't mean your energy is too masculine, but if you just change your body, don't you dare go there with me. You're the worst human beings on this earth. Transgenders and... Woo! You're not supposed to be killed, just so you know. And you're not supposed to be killed as homosexuals. God will kill you. But he's going to give you a chance. You're all going to learn to repent. And yes, we're going to tell you to take your body back to how it was. That's this. I just told you. You're distorting nature. Nature is under destruction. You can't destroy nature. You're masculine, that's who you are. You're feminine, that's who you are. But my Lord, they tell me as a woman I'm weak as hell. I want some muscle. Then go and learn to fight. Don't act like you had a good intention and led you to immorality. No, you're perverted. You're a pervert the moment you think of the other gender wanting to look like them. Innocent things are not making humans want to change their body. That's for another discussion, though. You see what I'm saying? There's a problem. You just need the solution. I want to protect myself. Well, then go learn to protect yourself. Do you agree? Human beings have studied the animal species. And right now, the best of them, right, who study animals can tell you the weakness of a lion. They can tell you how a cat can kill a lion. How even, who knows, a pest can kill a lion. Just the idea, right? You can't be like, how can a pest kill them? They can just maybe get away from them. Well, how do you know the pest can get some poison or something? It doesn't always have to be your body that you need to use to kill their body. I just need you guys to stop thinking about bodies. The body is the way the demon destroys you. Because that's how he can then create this hatred for your own body. And one day, right, one day he can tell you to change it and be transgender. It matters. It matters to him that he makes you think your body is everything. And if he can't do something for you, you're doomed. Well, you don't need to use the body to get what you need. You know, you can kill this predator without using your body. You can use a quality, something, even in their body to get them to die from the inside. You get me? Nothing has to be one way. We don't have to fight one way. There's many ways to fight. And you can't be like, well, that's dumb. It's not dumb. We're different species. Even in the animal species, there's multiple types. So as long as you see the word different, right, you know there's differences. You know that it's okay to have different ways to do something, like different ways to fight. But if we were all one way, then you could say, yeah, the other group, if it doesn't know how to do something the other group knows how to do, you could say then there's a weakness in that group, right? You could say our God looks bad to us. But if you already know there's different types, right? There's masculine and there's feminine. So why should they have the same way to fight? Get it? The body is different, everybody. The body is different. Think of a body like a machine. Both machines, you can build it to still vomit out all this germ or whatever right it is. If it's like a microwave, you can reprogram it to just know when to clean itself like that. But that microwave has a different build. It's lean, it's slim, and it does something else. This mic like that. This microwave is heavy and bulky and annoying like that. Right? And that slim one is too fast for you. It irritates the hell out of you because it sometimes goes too fast. Whatever, you know. You just simply need to look at the design of that body. So I'm going to ask God to teach me, obviously, But how I would do it, right? I don't mean how to fight, goodness. I mean how to teach women how to fight. Since I'm supernatural, you're not going to be like me. You get me? I have to teach you how to fight using the way your body was built, because my body is not like yours. The strength in my body is not like yours. I'm built differently. Okay, so I need to ask God to teach me. I'm not going to ask him to teach a man, right? I'm going to ask him to teach me how to teach you, using the way your body is built, how to kill these evil males, right? And obviously stop the bad females. It's just about just typical mean behavior females would do. We're talking about fighting with obviously the male gender, right? Let me hurry up. So I'm going to tell you something right now, and then we're going to finish the episode, okay? The most powerful prophetic knowledge God has taught me, which is the most powerful thing in the world. So prophets and messengers are males and females, just like angels are males and females. Otherwise, it disrupts God's pattern. He creates masculine and feminine. God will not allow just one way to be the way it is. You get me? Just feminine only. You would all feel uncomfortable with that, because instantly you think of things like homosexuality, like, you get me? Okay. But that's when evil is in the picture. Okay, but it still creeps you out, correct? Okay. It creeps us out because you know we're not empty shells. If God just created things that are like trees, maybe, just object-like type of creation, they don't have anything. They don't have a body, maybe. They're just nothing. Then He can create only them. But if God is creating two opposite, look at my words, two opposite energies, one is masculine, the other is feminine. You guys might think we get it. No. Opposite energies. I'm trying to say they need to mix. Whether sexually or it doesn't matter. They just need to mix. Oh, yes. If they need to mix, one cannot exist without the other. See? That's what I'm saying, everybody. You can't exist without the other gender. That's what I'm saying. You can't. Whatever your body is, no one cares about the body. Whether you're angel, you can't. Also because you breed, but you get me. So because the energy, don't think of angels, humans, okay? Just energy. Masculine and feminine. If they cannot exist without the other one, they were just naturally, okay, ask me why. Why can't they exist without the other? Because when God created them, He created them in a way that's the rule. That He's just creating them to always need the other. They're created to always have that quality where they're just supposed to mix. They're just supposed to need each other. You just need each other. You cannot coexist without the other. So for that reason, masculine only cannot be on this earth. We can't just have males. And we can't just have females. You might be like, we understand that. No, you're thinking about breeding. What if there's no breeding? Then you might say, okay, I get the point. Okay, great. Now follow that pattern. Follow that thinking and follow me here. Come with me, okay? It's the same for angels. Because I just told you, it's not about not having some breeding. It's not about needing each other to do something in this world. It's not about breeding. It's not about needing each other's help. When I say need, I mean it's like they need to mix. I didn't say they need to do something. I didn't say the other one will die, because that's about ability, right? God can just give you children. God can just give you food. No, not that kind of need. Right? Oh, we need to come together because we need to procreate. No result, okay? There's no result like procreate, kids. Don't think of stuff like that. That obviously any evil mind can come to you and be like, well, what if God just created a machine? You maybe just pop kids out. No, okay? Forget it. You don't need to do anything together. Just you simply are created masculine, feminine, just so that you're just naturally always created to just be that way. You can't separate them. So then that means they always need to mix. They always need to be there together. They cannot be taken out of the picture. One can't be kicked out. Because you were not created to be by yourself as a masculine. You were not created to be by yourself as a feminine energy. I didn't say human or angel. I just said energy. I don't know a better word right now, so let's use energy. So then, when we go to the heavens, right, and we see angels, same rule. They need a feminine. Because those males are masculine. What are they going to do there together? Exactly. Here's how I think the devil corrupted you into thinking it's okay, it's not a big deal. Because I know you human beings, you don't like it. You don't like to hear just males only or females only. You hate that stuff. So obviously I'm not disappointed in you there. You're very healthy here and you believe these two natures need each other. Okay. But you at least think angels are a different story. One, because you think they don't breathe, they don't need to do anything, they're just working for God, they do things in hellfire and paradise, they just guard the sky. You think they have a job. Okay. So you think technically the masculine, right? If he's given the muscle in this earth, you think, fine, there's great powerful women prophets who can kill all of us and they supernatural and scary and okay, fine. Then that means angels too. You might agree with me on everything. I got you. Okay. But then you think angels, no muscle here, right? Supernatural and scary, and they can do scary things. They can fly, and okay. You think, as long as they still feel the masculine idea, but on a supernatural level, they have powers, that they can do the job you think they're being used to do in paradise and hellfire and the skies and everywhere. Exactly. Do some scary, big, cool things. So then you think there's no reason to create a feminine. You're going to think, what are they going to do together? I just told you they don't need to do something. When we all die, I don't believe God is going to make us have kids in the next life. When people tell you that, that's probably true. And again, that's common sense, right? Because we had kids here. It's a suffering. It's a bad thing. They didn't come out some healthy way. They came out of pain, all right? So it seems rational. If paradise is a place of enjoyment and Adam and Eve didn't have kids in paradise, and see, this all fits into the story. How you know I'm not telling you something that you cannot believe in? The whole point of them being in paradise was they didn't have kids, right? And when they come here, now the suffering starts. Childbearing, disease, illness, evil. But is evil in hellfire? Is evil in paradise? Even in hellfire, is there evil? There's nowhere. So demons don't want you to see this world as some sort of temporary, strange, weird dynamic. They want you to think everything here has to fit everything over there. But you have to go back to that image of gods and goddesses. And I'm telling you right now, that's angels. They're not gods, they're not goddesses. They're just what they corrupted angels into being. And exactly, they're in that place where there's darkness. That dark is like representing the spiritual world that demons are in. Therefore, it makes sense then how demons are coming and joining the devil. Because there's already a bad place over there. Right? It's possible God just had some demons come out of hellfire and it doesn't make sense to me. Aren't you supposed to be punished? So I don't understand. I don't understand. But let's let that go, okay? What I'm saying is, there's some bad stuff over there, okay? That they're showing you in those gods and goddess movies, right? And then there's some beautiful stuff over here, light. And the same thing, greed, envy, all that stuff is making them fight each other and kill each other. That's what I'm saying. The weird parts of all that is the corruption. But that dark world, they're making it seem as if demons are just living, which represents the bad gods and goddesses, the ones in the dark areas, right? Like a kingdom, like a kingdom does that. They just corrupted it, But wherever those demons are, that they're plotting and doing weird stuff, is not this earth. They're in the spiritual world. So demons like to create stories of the truth, but they just flip it. They just change the meaning of something. So that, again, you don't obviously get the benefit from the knowledge. So I'm just saying those bad gods and goddesses characters represent demons. Get it? And then the angels, the light ones, represent the actual angels. So you see, even in movies, even in situations where humans are still trying to create supernatural things, and they're not trying to make logical to this world, they still, as a human race, believe they should always be masculine and feminine. That's your nature you just know it's weird. You know it's weird to just be in a world where there's just masculines walking around or just feminine. That's creepy. Don't go there with me and be like, we're human beings, we mate. I know it makes sense here. It's not about mating. I told you already. God may not even give them a sexuality. It's just weird. But why is it weird? Who told us it's weird? Because God, right, created that concept that there's two energies. Do you see? It's just simply that's all I'm trying to teach you. He just created the concept when he's designing everything that there just needs to always be masculine and feminine energies, and they have to mix. When I say mix, don't think sexual. Just mix. They just need, because if I tell you they always have to be out there, masculine and feminine, and that rules everything he creates, then you might just think, okay, great. Then you're going to visualize feminine went over there and did some gardening. You're going to think that, no, don't separate them. I said they have to mix. Mix them. Get it? Okay. They have to mix. Then you're going to realize angels, it doesn't matter if they're breeding and they don't have kids. You're not going to be like, what the hell do they need to do together then? They don't need to do anything. God just likes feminine and masculine to come together. He just likes to mix them. It's beautiful. That's what he likes. Okay? You can't be like, who are you? We don't know what you're talking about. You already see that. Wherever we go in this earth, there's masculine and feminine. But see, you're going to connect it. But yeah, but we know best because they breed. Animals need to breed and continue the species. Pests need to. But even in things that are not breeding, even when you just simply observe the earth, some trees feel like feminine to you. Some trees feel like masculine to you. Everything seems to fit masculine and feminine. It's weird. Okay, we need that. That's just how he wanted things. But okay, I'm obviously, maybe you don't believe that. I'm just telling you that's what I'm being guided to, and I hope you follow it. Okay? Ask God, pray to him, and he'll guide your mind. Don't just listen to me, right? I'm always reminding you guys I'm taught something, but I want you guys to then pray, and your Lord will give you conviction to follow it. Okay? So anyways, if we want to follow that, right? It seems just and fair and logical, and we have enough evidence to go this way. We obviously know religion is weird, okay? So we know we have to use our mind just like I'm doing, and we're going to figure things out, okay? But some things you can. God has to guide you and show you it's supernatural, and I'm always telling you that that's my job. I'm seeing supernatural things, and I get to teach you, and you're not going to be like, well, we don't know who you are. One day you're going to know who I am, okay? The world is literally about to end. So I don't even think we have that many years, okay? It's not hard for you to know who I am. Within the next few months, within the next year, some horrible things are going to happen in Muslim and non-Muslim countries, but mainly Muslim countries, because obviously Islam is the actual religion of that powerful creator that created all this, okay? It's just that Christianity was Islam, so that's why it seems beautiful. See, it is. See, everything follows logic. It wouldn't be beautiful, right? If it was evil, why is it beautiful? If it's fake, why is it beautiful? So you can't be like, we don't believe in you telling us to just always use logic and that everything has to follow that sort of equality way. Because look, Islam, if it was correct, okay, fine, it's corruptible. Muslims won't admit it. We keep telling them, then why is Christianity so beautiful too? See, everything is logical. It's beautiful because Christianity is God's religion. It's just the name was changed to Christianity instead of Islam. You can't be like, I don't agree. Christ just came a few, right, thousands ago, 100,000 years ago. You get me? A name cannot come from someone who just came recently in history. If it's a religion of God, the name has to have its own original name that goes back to Adam and Eve. But the religion, right, in my eyes, was probably obviously created before Adam and Eve. You get me? God already had created a religion way before you and I. Our dad and mom, Adam and Eve, were even being created. You get me? Because it's just God's laws. Wouldn't you agree? Since he's a creator, he would create everything first. And then, then things start to happen. Devil harasses Adam and Eve. Okay, they come back to earth. They come to earth. Then like that. These events happened afterwards. But if he's a designer, if he's a creator, if he's powerful, if he's a shaper, the religion and all that stuff could have already been created earlier. If he did it a little later, is there something wrong with our Lord? No. It's okay, right? I'm just saying, could we assume? Is it weird to assume he did it earlier? No. Because it fits, right? It fits. As you're thinking of creating all these species, right? Not as you, sorry. As God is creating all these species, as he's thinking about it, he didn't create them yet. Wouldn't you agree then? Exactly, he could already think same time to create laws for us. Don't worry, okay? So it's not hard to know what's really from our Lord. It's just beautiful, it's just as fair, it's nice, it's balanced, it follows nature. All of us as human beings, especially you males, you don't feel comfortable when you see that sort of sexism in this world. It just doesn't make you feel peace. It doesn't make you feel safe. It doesn't make you feel nice. It doesn't make you feel like God is fair. You just get to maybe act like you like it. You think, yeah, let me just enjoy it. They obviously treating me like I can do what I want. Yeah. Okay, fine. But do you really feel safe and peace with the way they portray men and women? No, it's not safe. It's not peaceful. It's not gentle. It's not nice. Someone's always suffering. So you can't say this is the way God intended us to be. Because if it was actually our Lord, the way he wanted us to be, whether we're in earth or some other place, it always has to make everybody feel just nothing but peace. The way they tell you as a male, it's not sexism. She's less than you. Treat her like this. There needs to be some dominance dynamic, some control. It's not peace. So our Lord is peaceful. Okay. So you don't feel it, get it? You don't feel peace. You feel anxious. You feel scared. You're just evil, get it? You just do it. But do you feel peace? No. You feel anxious. You feel uncomfortable. You feel emotions of fear coming over you when a male is trying to tell you whether he's using religion or something else. Exactly that. It's okay to do this to a woman. You just feel nothing but fear coming over the body because that's your gut. God is guiding you. That's not your nature and that's not moral. You get me? You're just good to be a bad person and do what you want. But you can't be like, how did God guide us if he's good? If our Lord is that great, the way you just described him, wow, he really gives women that much and we're just limiting them and Satan is attacking them. Oh, wait, what's going on? Exactly. The way you would say to me, how did he still guide us though? What did he do to help us at least get out of that shell? The way you feel. Your gut. I don't mean like feelings and thoughts. Demons send you that. Your gut. Just pull a man aside right now and tell him to just say nasty things to him. You know that female over there? Yeah. I'm going to do this to her. You know, she's actually like this. Yeah. When they talk to you like that, you feel nothing but fear coming over you because that's a threat. That's a threat to peace. So just because you're filthy and you want to go harm someone or you want to insult her, whatever, it doesn't matter. If to you want to, but is that peace? Is that how you would want your daughter to be treated? Is that peace? And is that how you would want to be treated? So you can't say, well, when I become a male and actually am looking to mate, it doesn't seem to affect me as much. I don't care if I'm sexist. But yeah, when I was younger and I was a little boy, I wouldn't want someone treating my mom like, I don't want to hear that nonsense. Okay? Don't flip it and act like at a certain age it's okay to be sexist. It's okay to be unjust. Because somehow it fits the nonsense the devil taught you. That someone needs to have some power so that then things flow. I dare you. It's our nature. Okay? What God has created as peace. So the nature cannot change at some point. We can't just have peace between children who are males and females. And at some point it flips. And the male gets to now tell her what to do. I'm your brother. You can't do this. You can't get married. You can't do that as a husband. You tell her that as a husband. Oh, you can't do this. I get to do this to you. You get me? The peace way that a little boy, a little girl get to interact in this earth. And they're just fun. And they're just cute. And they hug each other. It can't flip all of a sudden when they're 20 years old. And he's saying to her, well, I'm a man. I get to do this job. Look how big my muscle is. You. Well, go do some other job, please. No. A job doesn't exist. You just need to survive. If the person likes it, it's artistic, it's cool, they're building a table. That person is literally designing some fabric, right? The other one is literally washing this river from dirt. It's just nothing but making our earth a better place because we need to live in it. So stop connecting it to your gender. Stop connecting it to some sort of big meaning. It doesn't have a gigantic meaning. And because the devil needs to limit women from that hunting that Adam and Eve did together, and then the gardening they did together, he has to make it seem as if it actually symbolizes something about your gender when it has nothing to do with gender or anything. It's just survival. He doesn't want it to be nothing. He doesn't want it to be diminished to something small, like just survival. Because then what are you all going to do? You're going to separate it from yourselves as males. You're going to separate work from yourself. He doesn't want you to separate a job, a work, money from yourself. Because that's how he uses that connection he attached to you to then make you do evil to other people. You're jealous of that man because he got the promotion. Now you're going to do evil to him. You see this woman taking the promotion instead of you. He teaches you sexism. She's weaker than me, boss. Can I do it? See, now you committed a sin. That's your sister in humanity and he's your brother in humanity. So I just told you, if you think of your little parents, your little generation, you're never going to understand God's nature and the nature he created for you, who he is as a Lord. You're never going to understand anything. You have to go back to ancestors, Adam and Eve. None of these people are really our parents in that sense. You get me? They're our parents. We can't keep ignoring these two people. They're very important. If God truly believed that your actual so-and-so is your parent, then why did he create Adam and Eve, everybody? Why didn't he just bring us here, right, as mature adults, every ethnicity, every race, so a few couple of human beings, or everyone as adults, and then now they just start breeding kids? Why just one man, one woman? Why not create an Asian man, Asian woman who's supernatural, African man, African woman, supernatural? You get me? Why all of us have to come from one man, one woman who are not? It's not possible for them to breed all of us of different races and ethnicities and languages. That's strange to you and I in this lifetime. Because get it? He's just saying go back to the fundamental of who you are as a creation of God. All of us. We're one gigantic family. So that, yes, that is your brother and sister in humanity. Since obviously there's sexuality, we're not going to call them your brother and sister. No, but in humanity. So no one is going to, right? No one's going to ignore that. You can't ignore that. God is not going to therefore create you as a male or female and link something to you that has nothing to do with your identity. It's just something you did on this earth to survive. But what if you leave this earth and go to paradise or some other world where none of us have to survive? We just have everything. Now what are you going to say as a man makes you a man, the way you like to say? Huh? What makes you a man? Tell me. You don't have a job here. She's wealthy. She's a queen. You're a king here. No one works for anybody. You're all queens. What do you think and use your mind? Okay? I'm not playing with this. Use your mind. Stop listening to the voices in your head. It's not rational anymore. If you just take out the fact that we live in a weird place with caves and animals and we have to learn how to work with animals and survive. Stop visualizing this. This is just a temporary world. So you can't be like, we come here, we have some nature. And we go to some other world, we have some other nature. No, we just have a nature. The nature will not change no matter what world God takes us to. This world is the only thing that's flipping it. You get me? We don't have to work. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to breed. God creates children. God gives wealth. We don't need this stuff. Okay? Your nature is the way Adam and Eve were in paradise before they were here. They didn't do anything. They just were mixing and chilling and laughing and being lovely. That's how you're supposed to be. That's how the romantic people of these two genders are supposed to be. And the others who are not, right, who are like family, you're supposed to be humane with each other. You're supposed to be nothing but mercy to each other. Now you're going to see, wait a minute, they connected jobs to us, money to us. Not because they actually as demons or God himself, or not because God is saying it's connected to us, but maybe the demon just made us unjust to women. No, it's not because you're unjust. You could be just and share everything with her. I still am telling you to stop connecting money to your stuff and work. Because you being a masculine is not connected to you having money. It's not connected to you having a job. Because it doesn't even exist. Money and job don't exist. People started to work and pay each other money at some point. But before, at the beginning, you were just hunting for yourself and your wife. Get it? You were just simply taking care of yourself. No one was giving you any money. So there was no such thing as a job in that sense. Whatever work you did, right, the hunting, was just to survive. But now if demons get to take away the benefit that God taught us at some point, we get money, yay. And they connect that to somehow just one gender, you're destroyed. That That's your identity now. You don't think it's a human identity. You don't think she also needs to hunt, because exactly, it's just human survival. If you leave a woman right now in the middle of nowhere, you do know she's going to have to, according to your evil sexist male logic. You would never disagree that she needs to now she has no choice now but to hunt. That's what I just said. It's just a human survival. We all need to learn it because we all need to survive. So it's not connected to a gender. So don't bring me that nonsense where you're like, well, we agree with that, but when I'm here, she doesn't need it. Oh, God have mercy. You're not her sustainer. You're not her Lord. You didn't bring her to this earth. You don't know anything she doesn't know. You're nothing, just like her. You just have your own energy, okay? You're just masculine. Don't connect that to being a protector, a guider, a sustainer, a financial a support advocate. Don't give yourself names of lords, okay? Don't give yourself the qualities of a God. If God really wanted you to think like that, he would not create females. He would not create masculine and then feminine and just let it be all this time. He would have just created you. Since you're so cool, right? Since you're the provider, she needs you, but you don't need her unless maybe there's some breeding, because, yeah, she's a machine, right? She's a toy, right? She should shut the hell up and let you do everything, correct? Then let's wipe women off this earth, right? Visualize your Lord taking all feminine out of everything. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. To burst your ugly, filthy bubble. You wicked human beings. That's not your nature. The breeding, the jobs, the envy you have towards them and males, the fact that you fight over money every day, the fact that everything is about materialistic and all this stuff, and then immoralities like sin, the carnal stuff you have, none of this is part of the actual reality. This is just for this world. Your identity, your nature is for masculine and feminine to mix. That means wherever you go, she has to be there. You go to a job, she's going to follow you there. Because you were not created to be by yourself. God doesn't want just masculine. He wants feminine there. They have a different perspective, a different world, a different energy, a different purpose. They have to be with you. Stop thinking about sexual stuff. What if there was no sexual? What if he just destroyed it as a creator? You're still going to be there together. You're going to mix until the end of time. And then forever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? Because it's just nature. And that nature will follow every species. So then you're not going to say, well, this world, this earth, that stuff is here. We're fighting here. I need to do this because I'm male. I got the muscle. She got, well, what about, you act like at least it makes sense here. To treat her like this, but in paradise, you respect her. There's no breeding. There's no control. You don't need to control her there. You don't need to, I just told you. Then that fits morality now. Now we go into morality. Now we go into fairness, logic. God is not going to tell you to be moral to someone in this life and then be immoral to them in another life. He's not going to tell you to rape your wives, control your sisters. Only when you're around, she can get married because you're the cool mahram, right? You're the guardian. You're the protector of women. Shut up. Your prophets were all men. So what are you going to say? Who are you? You're females. What are you going to do for us? We just get to provide for you. You don't have much work to do. Okay, listen. That's not some strange, mean thing that you can agree is very strange. Even if you're like that, you would agree that seems very hurtful and not nice. Still what they teach you, these evil males. Exactly. You know that's not nice. You know that's not fair. You know it hurts women. You know if you were to just simply think of yourself from their perspective, you wouldn't want to be on their side. You wouldn't want God to put you in the other side and tell you to live the way they're told to live. So as long as you would not want this life that you keep telling females to live, you males wouldn't want to be there. You wouldn't want someone controlling the hell out of you, telling you God really doesn't think like that of you. He really thinks only men can be leaders. Can you please just let it go? God does what he wants. As long as if you were over there and you were being treated, I don't mean if you were a female, goodness. No, if you were the one that was being said to you and females were the ones being chosen, as long as you would say, my Lord, hell, no, we can't do this. Please don't hurt us. Please. Then you know they're saying the same thing. So that's what you seem to forget. You seem to forget women would go to God and beg him and say, my Lord, this is wrong and this is unjust. Don't hurt us. And you agree with me, God is a king. He's good and he's loving. Why are you knocking those qualities out of the picture when it's about women? Oh, you have a disease? Oh, my sister of Christ, I'll pray for you. Oh, but when she tells you, her husband tells her she needs his permission to do ABC, she's not independent by herself. She wants to live her life, but he tells her to stay home and do and all this labor and all the kids. And oh, he told me he can just rent, some sort of service for us or hire some people to take care of the kids. But still, he's pushing it. I don't care if you hire somebody. You're still acting like it's her job to raise kids. No, it's both of you. Your job to raise those kids. Take turns. You don't tell your team worker, right, in a classroom that's math or science, you don't tell each other. You don't tell each other what to do, to be honest. What do you want to do? You chat, you cooperate, but two, you don't have one sit down and the other do the work. What do you mean I don't do work? I go to a job, I make money. Did you not have a job and make money before you were married? Before you were dating? Were you not already independent and making money? And was she not already independent and making money? So what the hell did this have to do with you having extra work? It's not extra. You were already working. You were already, as an 18-year-old male who has no wife, you were already going to a job. You never told us human beings who see you every day that your life is a living hell. You're a man and you suffer so much. So why do you act like you're suffering and you have a little more work when you're a husband? Aren't you doing the same thing? Sit down. The female has to deal with something she's never dealt with before. What is all this pregnancy? What's all this pain? You 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. You're too much. No one is a machine here. You tell her to give up her passions and her dreams. God created this earth. That means he created beauty. That means he created art. That means he created food. That means he created this earth like the trees, nature, mountains, animals, pests. We are supposed to go and enjoy all those blessings, us learning about them. We're supposed to go and meet that cool animal we've never discovered. Literally become their friend. And they might actually solve something for us here as human beings we seem to do. And our back burns. My back hurts right now from standing and recording this for so long. Then maybe there's some cool animal you and I didn't discover that can help us. But you're sitting over there trying all your best to work for demons and limiting that gender. You do know that the human race goes down. We're diminished. Stop fighting over things God created for all of us and acting like you get to take it all and keep it for yourself. As long as the thing has no gender to it, it's just nature, it's just food, it's just money, it's just a building, it's just a cute dog over there that wants to say hi to you. As long as, see, that's the demon arresting me right now. As long as it's these normal things, I love how they have to honk only when they pass me by. As long as it's these nice creations of God or these living beings of God that we get to see on this earth with us, this journey with us. And I do believe to some degree that's why God created animals. Because maybe you'd feel alone. You just feel alone. Don't tell me humans are enough for you. Hell no. As human beings, we do feel alone. And there's people around us all day. That doesn't mean we don't feel alone. No, we don't feel invisible. We don't think we're in some twilight zone. We're the only ones here, right? Alone, get it? As a species, maybe as a species, we'd feel extremely alone. Seeing an animal running over there, hi, where are you going? Wow. You guys live in the mountains? Wow. Like that. It's like a living being, another species, just like if they were human. They're companions. You see how I just connected that they're companions? Therefore, they're not your pet. They're not your animal. And don't you dare call yourself owners anymore. Living beings cannot own each other. So even if what you mean by the word own is something else, I don't care. It's still own. You don't own anybody. You cannot own one another. Because as long as there's a life in them, you are not their owner. Last time I checked, God is the owner. So you see what I'm saying? The basic foundations of nature and morality, you agree with me, but then you like to flip it because demons taught you that. You like to act like we agree God is the owner, but in this case, my dog is I'm the owner. You see, you like to flip it. I'm trying to teach you that morality, and God was right. The morality He created for you will stop you and say to you, but that fits every scenario. Every scenario, even when you're going to this store, see, store. Animals are not for sale. They're living beings. You cannot buy humans. So why do they call it a pet store? It's disgusting. Wherever you're going, right? And there's animals there, they need adoption. And you're not supposed to adopt them. They're supposed to have this earth with you. They're supposed to live and enjoy, just like when they were around the time of Adam and Eve. You evil humans, demons use you. Sorry, I'm being harassed in the environment. Demons use you to basically steal their spot on this earth. So then do you see why then it's easy over time? After civilization, they can easily teach you exactly to call yourself their owner, because you're already taking away the fact that they, just like us, a species, were also here with us to live here too. The devil comes to your mind and says, well, then why do they live the way they do? Why do they look so deformed or something? Why they walk on their hands and feet? And they seem like they're useless. They seem like they don't have any significance to this earth. Why are they here? We seem to have significance, and we also could worship God. You get me? They're making it seem as if we all need to do the same thing. Angels are not right here studying religion, worshiping God this way. They're not here building... They're not. They're worshiping God another way, right? They're over there. They're living in their own little nice world, right? So you get me? The animals don't have to then be like you. They don't have to do what you do in order to have significance. It's just whatever significance God gave them, that's their significance. Stop stealing it from them. They have their own greatness. They came to also be your companions. Humans did not survive without animals, so don't go there with me. We all need each other. Even some pests, what they do is helping us. So you see then why we have to study. How would we even know that? How do we even then survive? We could have been extinct, except, right? I'm talking about if God allows it. God obviously keeps you, right? If God just allows things to happen based on laws of nature He created, we'd all be extinct. Because you all sexist, you say, don't let women study anything. Maybe the men in that time were lazy and didn't want to study. Maybe that girl had curiosity for those animals, what they seem to be leading to in the mountains. Why are they going to the mountains? And some people maybe thought of going to Europe then. You see what I'm saying? The inspiration, the wisdom, the gift, the intellect, the beauty, the artisticness, this cool scientific event in our life, whatever it is going to hit somebody of a certain gender one day. God doesn't give it to one group. And He wants all of us to go and learn His earth. God created this earth. So everything in it has no gender to it. It's just good things. So all of us have the right to go learn it, study it, use it appropriately. And the living beings on this earth, all of us have the right to go meet them, interact with them, see what their significance is to us, so that we don't just pass them in the road every day. That dog, you think he's just poor and wants your food. Maybe he's trying to teach you something. Maybe God sent him that day to remind you He heard your prayer. You were crying last night. And the dog is the one, mercy is being used to come out of him. You know, He's being so merciful to you. And that's God showing you His own mercy as a God. How are you going to know that if you think they're just some beggar? You need to always take them in and give them food and shelter because you're their owner. You see, instead of their own species that has their own reason to be here, their own greatness. All this goes back to nature then. God, what He created. He's the creator. And I'm not saying you all fight with that. A lot of you might agree with this. But then why don't you fight with it? When religion comes and teaches you sexism and perversion, why don't you use these good concepts that you already know about God Almighty? Why doesn't this seem to affect you? Why doesn't the Quran, right? There's many ways that God is guiding you to actually observe his earth and learn from it. There's many ways that God speaks that you know he's telling you to go study the earth. Why would God tell us to go and study the earth and learn things and observe? He's telling us, get it? Not a male. They could have obviously interpreted the verse that way. But do you see what I'm saying? Because when you go and study the earth, it's not just right that you get to learn how to survive. No, it's not really that one. That's just one of the key benefits. It's because then you learn this, right? Earth, everything about it symbolizes nothing but peace, gentleness, mercy. Everything is just flowing from a place of love and not hatred. So that same creator, right? Who just by simply looking at trees, you feel peace. You don't feel like he's sexist to you. Okay. Now God is gonna help you when you observe his earth, when you observe things, when you observe how things flow. Not things humans are doing because there's demons working within them, but anything outside of humans, when you observe them, and not the bad times animals do bad things because they're possessed too. You're gonna see, right? Usually what I'm talking about is anything that's not living. You know what I mean? You're gonna see whoever created it is not the same author of those horrible things in his books. Exactly, it doesn't fit. And you might be like, what's the point? I figured that out, but I can't really say anything. Then you were supposed to ask him, my Lord, like your ancestors. They don't know religion, they just talk. Oh, whomever created all this, I wish to know what's going on. Like, they just talk. You're just supposed to talk. This tree, who designed you? Like that. They ask questions like that. The Lord will guide them the next day. Someone who knows about God will just visit them. Hey, how are you? Oh, good. How's life? Yeah, I went hunting yesterday. Okay. You know, God. Huh? Who's God? What do you mean? You don't know God? No, I don't. I've never heard that word or that name. Now the God has just answered you. He just literally brought this person who knows about him. And some people, he just guides their mind, okay? Some people just guided their mind to just know there's a God out there. Humans have always known there's a creator. They just used to worship rocks and objects and humans who died. But see, the concept that there's a being that created it all, how did they always figure that out? Not just because God inbuilt that in us. We have to just feel that way, right? Because he's actually real. You get me? It also happens because they actually used to care about it. They used to think about that. So let's go back to the prophets, okay? We're going to end this episode. So God will choose prophets from every race, right? That means they have to come from an ethnicity. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean there's some race, right? If you're in a race, you have to still be put in an ethnicity. You get me? A race doesn't have their own people, and then ethnicities, their own people. You get me? So, right? There's always going to be then this ethnicity, that ethnicity, that all ethnicities in Africa, there was always a prophet from their time. That's what it would then mean. Every ethnicity in Europe, okay, then there was always a prophet like that. So every ethnicity would always get a chance to have a prophet come out of them. You get me? Because the whole race is always going to have a prophet come to them. And it's not going to be the same ethnicity every time of that race. Correct? Okay, so then it's going to keep going like that. How God did that, obviously, it's just you don't have to really burden yourself with that. But that's what you have the right to know. Right? You're going to forget, obviously. Since Adam and Eve, we can't have all data. So this is how I thought about it. The reason why I'm Asian, right? Why am I Asian? But the devil was allowed to attack me as a child, just like by prophets and messengers. And I get kidnapped into Africa so that no one knows I'm here. I'm born already, you know? So, because, okay, hold on. So, prophets are messengers. Islam will say that. They'll say Prophet Muhammad was a messenger and a prophet. Okay, so then they also would say Jesus was a messenger and a prophet. Okay. But then for some reason, there's a part of Islam where these preachers are saying a prophet is someone with a scripture and a messenger is someone without a scripture. But we just said a prophet and a messenger is just the same person. You can't then separate them at some point. Here's the proof, okay? You might just think that's an opinion. Okay, here's the proof. If a messenger actually comes after you as a prophet, right? Like, let's say there's a messenger coming right now after Prophet Muhammad, right? Maybe you think it's Mahdi, etc. Okay, think about it, okay? Then you think they don't have a scripture. You think they'll just use the Qur'an, etc. Okay. Here's how you know the Qur'an is corrupted, okay? Two things I'm going to prove to you. History. Let's go back in history. Let's go back to a time where Muslims will agree, and Christians, everybody will agree, a book was corrupted, okay? And that prophet's gone. Another one is here. This human, right, this supernatural human, you all think they're just males only, but let's just say prophet, okay? This supernatural living being that's a prophet, they now have a new book, correct? And that's obviously to stop the evil that's happening in between their time back to the prophet's time prior to them. Okay. But why do you guys believe new prophets have to be sent? Why do you believe, right, before Jesus, whoever was before Jesus, why do you think then Jesus arrived? Well, why was he even here? Because you believe there's something wrong, correct? You believe Jesus had to bring the Torah again. You believe there's some corruption, something's off, correct? Okay. Mahdi is not going to arrive unless the Quran is corrupted. Do you get the point? Because the whole reason of another prophet has to even be sent to you in the first place is the last prophet, they're gone, they did a great job, but then the book they had from God to show those people and it spread, the book got corrupted, everybody. So then now, they can't just live and live and live and live. They can't just use God's book to do the best they can. Again, it could still be God's intention to keep sending you prophets because, right, it's nice to have leaders every time. But I'm talking about the main reason God is actually sending prophets and messengers is because books are getting corrupted. So you all agree demons had the power to touch these books. It's not humans, everybody. Humans can't corrupt a book. Satan himself is the one who comes down, possesses an evil male, and then they corrupt it, okay? So it's not human because the scriptures are also supernatural. They're powerful. They're God's words. So only the devil was given abilities to attack things like, right, this earth, this species, the human race, us. Only he's the one God is giving this extra power to torment us. And he's supernatural. And over time, he would ask God for certain powers and they can do certain things. That's it. So as long as you know the devil is the enemy, then why do you keep thinking humans are doing this stuff? Humans are corrupting a book. Humans are killing this person. Then what are demons doing? If they're the enemy and not humans, then why would demons have no significance to you guys? What are they doing? This is how you know they tricked you and got away with it. Because get it? You all keep saying all the bad stuff happening in religious events and in other areas of the world. You keep connecting it to humans. What's wrong with you? Why would a human just want to corrupt God's book? You don't know anything about God. You don't know anything about religion. You don't have anything against it. Like, you're not an enemy. The devil is the enemy. You're just corrupted. You're just a bad person. But what does that have to do with then looking for a scripture and wanting to touch it? That's a big agenda. Only something with a big agenda could do that. You get me? So it's demons who are possessing whoever in human history were harassing your prophets and corrupting books. One, because humans are not supernatural. So you're weak as hell. You can't do it. Demons who have supernatural abilities are the ones possessing your body and they doing it. You go dead for some time and they take over your body. Don't be like I did it with them. No, you're dead. That's what possession means, goodness. They don't have a body. You might be like, why did God do that? So that then it fits the agenda of the devil. Get it? You can't lie to people if they can see you. So if he's allowed to be invisible and use your body, then it fits the agenda that then he would continuously in human history keep saying humans were fighting each other. Humans did this. Humans disobeyed God. Humans did, it's just you and me. It's just humans versus humans. So then, okay, don't you forget demons then? Don't you forget their significance? Don't you forget their problem? Okay, so then how are you going to ever protect yourself from them the next time? You don't even think they're your enemy. You don't even think they have any significance. You think demons are just inspiring humans to go to war and kill each other. No, they're possessing whoever is doing anything God created that's bad. You think possession is some sort of thing they do to hurt the human, like be mean to them. Ouch, something hit me, my Lord. What's that? I'm possessed. No. The actual murder, the actual president right now, starting wars with Palestine, that's a shaitan himself. That's not the human. That's not the human, get it? When Muslims are preaching that Islam is not corrupted, that's why they seem so hateful of you. Even just simply say to them, but you're not God. Can we just have a discussion? Why do I have to just obey what you say? You and I know corruption also happened, but obviously the first reason is there's immorality, these evil things you're telling me to do. Can we just talk like two people who talk about science and math? You don't get angry at other time. Why are you so hostile and so violent? And you just want us to shut up. And why do you treat me like I'm a bad person, even if you talk calm or fast? Like, what is this sort of dictatorship you have? Can you just chillax and talk to me? You know why they seem so scared of that and so anxious? And like, sometimes they laugh. These non-Muslims, they say our prophet is this. That's a sin. We're gonna conquer. It doesn't matter how they speak with their tone, okay? It doesn't matter if they invade your personal space and try to be creepy. Or they say, well, in Islamic times, I don't care how they talk. As long as this human being is acting like you're not equal to them to question a book, and that just simply they have some sort of authority or just opinion to just say it's not corrupted and we should all shut the hell up, that's shaitan. That's demon. Humans cannot do that, okay? They're possessed. The demon is actually giving you the lecture, everybody. He's talking. They're the enemy. They have the agenda. This human could care less about a book being corrupted. They don't understand. They were just born yesterday. They're 20 years old maybe. They're 30 years old. This demon is ancient. They've been here since Adam and Eve. They really have a problem with that. So that's why they seem so hateful. That's why they seem like they don't want to entertain the books being corrupted. Because exactly, why do you care as a religious preacher if a book is corrupted? What is it about that makes you somehow die the next day? It's not your book. It's not your religion. We're not your creation. We're not your species. You don't have any sort of loss. It doesn't hurt you if women have rights. Why are you scared? Why are you afraid? Don't you just tell us this is who you think God is? You're not trying to hurt us. You just think this is who he is. Then why are you so mad when people tell you that's not maybe who he is? Where's the dialogue? You're scared. You can't prove it. You just want to tell them that's how God is. Because you're not even the human male that just became a bad person. You're shaitan himself. You're possessed and you don't want to tell us. Because if you tell us, who's going to listen to you? And why would your demon tell us? They're trying to make human beings believe you're some ancient cool scholar. God have mercy. So this is the evidence, everybody. Human beings who teach you any evil and those who act on it are all demons, not human. The human just agrees to be used, okay? They're just sinners. But the body has to be taken over and used. I don't want you to think they're just in their body inspiring bad thoughts in them. No, they use their hand. They use their hand, they use their hand to corrupt the Bible, the Qur'an, etc., etc., etc. Because you're not supernatural. You can't touch God's book. It's not like my book that I write today about the weather. It's not a regular book. It's literally God's book. So only the Satan, right? Only the devil was given the permission to touch it. So he keeps descending and possessing so-and-so every few centuries, and they corrupt it. You get me? Other than the proof being that I can just tell you there's immoralities in it. Yes, but I don't want you to then walk around this earth saying, okay, I believe the Quran and Bible are corrupted, but I think humans did it. Humans don't have the ability to have these qualities, okay? They're not the one with the plan. They're not the enemy. They don't know anything about religion. I just told you, they don't even know anything. They had to, over time, look at a tree and be like, where did this tree come from, huh? Oh, man, yes. Why are we here? That's how humans are. You think because today there's technology, there's all these universities, all this knowledge, all these scriptures, all these religions, you think that's how we are. No, this is just a time we have something. But that's not who we are. Okay? Humans are walking around this earth. They don't know anything. God sends you messengers and prophets and they teach you something. Then it gets lost. So when it gets lost, you can't just walk around corrupting another book. You can't. Something evil needs to come back that actually knows it. It knows something. And it can keep using you to repeat the cycle of your ancestors. When they say things like, oh, these human beings or Muslims or Israel are going to go look for Mahdi and they're going to do this for Nabi Isa, Prophet Jesus. You guys are not supernatural. You cannot persecute God's leaders. You can't touch them. You can't kill them. You cannot do anything to them. And you can't touch God's books. Why would you go to war with someone is God's person? What kind of nonsense? Where's that confidence coming from? You're just a regular human. This is the man of God himself. He literally was created to be a prophet. How can you take a sword and look for him? That's demons, everybody. They're possessing that army. They're possessing that whatever they're talking about in history and in the future. That's demons. You can't say that's weird. They're supernatural. God have mercy. So stop treating them like people when they're just running to somebody. And all that stuff about our prophet having thousands of battles. If you go to Wikipedia and you see how many battles he had, it's just a battle after every battle. No one went to a war with our prophet. Okay? Everything Shaitan or demons say, right, or the devil says, every knowledge you have today that seems weird or strange, like why should a man of God have to have so many people trying to kill his people all day? Isn't he here? Isn't he like that? Shouldn't people be scared? You're right. That's your mentality. Take it with you. Run with it. Use the logical mind. It's not logical. It's not just. It's not rational. He's tough, obviously. People should run away when he's around. Exactly. So whatever we would say is rational, the devil just simply corrupts it to the opposite. Whatever happened in human history, he just corrupts it to the opposite. There was no wars and battles in our prophets' times. You guys can't be like, I don't believe that. Just go back to the earlier prophets. The last ones, their stories are so bad. You don't want to, please, go back to the earliest prophets. No one talks about war. No one talks about battles. No one talks about death. No one says someone killed them. You see, God allows the devil to corrupt some stuff, but not everything, goodness. You need some hint. So the earlier times, the things you would say make sense if a prophet was around, right? No one hurts anybody. Bad things don't happen. There's abundance of wealth. Justice is served. The religion spreads because humans are not crazy. There's just some bad, not now. And just so you know, the way the human beings of this earth today, the way they, right, if you really give them a chance, they change. That's how humans were in human history. So there's also the corruption, accusing humans of always being these horrible sinners. They're all bad. They never take God's religion. They do. That's a lie. I prayed for the most wicked people that demons are possessing to harass me, and they change. Imagine if a real religious scripture, a real prophet actually gave them a chance about something more big and more obvious and in their face, right? They're actually seeing knowledge, actually seeing guidance. Of course, they boom, instantly change, okay? And right? Please. There's just some evil among us, but the just nature of the human, they change. So that's another thing he flips. Because you might be like, why does that matter? Because then you're all going to believe there's no point in calling people. You're going to believe there's no point in prophets and messengers coming back. You're going to think they're just going to suffer again. They're never going to get by. It's just negativity. Because that means in human history, everyone, the devil was watching prophets come down, which means they're messengers. And yes, they're male and female. He's watching all these people change, repent, and wealth, greatness, wars, and everything stops. Battle stops. But also it stops because this is a scary person. Who the hell is going to go into a war with a supernatural powerful leader? You get me? They have abilities, everybody. So you get me? The times that then you would say, but what about Moses? Pharaoh was fighting him. What about Mahdi? There's some Khurasan from Iran who's going to... That's situations that God just likes to show you who they are. Exactly. He just wants to show you what he's going to do as a God. They're not trying to kill him. They're not trying to bother them. They're not trying to hurt anybody. Those demons know the person. Get it? Satan himself and those demons, they know that person, right? They know that person knows this is not real. When demons are bothering me, OD, when I go to jail, for example, it's like they're communicating with me as a demon. It's like they're saying, we're not trying to bother you. We're not trying to hurt you. It's not even real. Your Lord is just testing you with this situation because normally you can kill us. You get me? There's actually a communication between demonic spirits and prophets. These demons communicate with them that this is not real, but they're just going to possess these crazy people and just run towards your city for some reason. And they're going to possess this cop and trying to bother you all of a sudden, like that. But the person is told by God, and demons are showing them, this is not directed at you. It's just for humans to know something. Humans need a hint, because maybe no one knows who they are. We're being used to just simply show God's power. Human beings are crazy. They're going to get possessed. They're going to run to this prophet's people, right? They're not trying to kill the prophet. They're just coming to their location. Why? Because God allows that to happen. So then when he shows you he just destroyed them, you all say what? Yay, our Lord is great. Yay. So it's actually about God. It's not about the prophets. Whether they're past or present or not present, sorry, or future. It's about God, get it? It's about God showing you. That's how he normally handles things. He kills them for you. You don't have to fight with these people, okay? It's just God's greatness. It's just his own greatness you're supposed to witness. It's a supernatural event. These people sink to the earth. These people, tornado takes them. These people, some animal, not some animals, something happens, okay? Some typhoon comes, like, and supernatural ones, obviously, even if I say tornado, it's like the other ones, you know. So you get me. The original stories of prophets were correct, where they just tell you, the prophet just simply called people. No one can touch or harm or bother them. They scared and respect them, but they just get to reject the message, right? It has nothing to do with them. And when the time is up, God tells them, go. See how rational it is? They don't get to make that decision. You don't know it's time. You don't know that person one more day. You don't know if that person needed one more day, right? It's God who tells them go. It's over. Okay, now they take those people with them. So see, they're not also alone. They always like to portray people as being alone, like Prophet Jesus. He wasn't alone. It was just a supernatural event. He's going to return to teach you, right? Look, God is powerful. Normally, we don't get killed. We just ascend. So the same way Jesus ascended, I didn't die, right? Again, you guys believe he died and got resurrected. But he's going to tell you, you get me? That situation is the devil creating that for you so he can portray him as a weak little man. Okay, so you see, he's going to tell you he didn't die, he just got ascended. But okay, the devil is allowed to do evil, get it? Think about it. When the devil is simply being given permission by God to attack the human race, if these bad things didn't happen in human history where he lies about what actually happened, then what is the significance of that permission he had? You see what I'm saying? How did he do what he wanted? He wanted to lie. If you guys say to yourselves, why did God do that then? You know? Well, why is the lie in the story? If he didn't die, then why did he lie? Then how is he the devil? Get it? How did he get what he needed? Aren't we in a situation where we're under a test? We're put on this earth. Demons are attacking and bothering us. So how? How did then the harassment, the attack happen if nothing bad happens? Okay? No one's talking about rape and stuff like that. You're supposed to fight it, goodness. No one's saying then let it happen. No. I'm saying if he's not allowed to actually lie to you, then how did he then use his permission from God to lie to you? He has to use it. Your job is to think and be like, hell no. Prophets are strong. I know this. You're supposed to use your mind and fight with the nonsense in the book. Nonsense in the story. So Jesus will tell you he didn't die. And no one persecuted him. No one beat him. No one made him bleed and walk like, because exactly this is literally a supernatural man. That means That's why it's so easy to say he's a son. Every time prophets come down, it's easy to say they're sons of God. Because exactly, they're actually powerful and have supernatural abilities. But then too, God himself doesn't put them through battle and bad things. Those people just die on their own. They just sink to the earth. Do you see what I'm saying? So then our prophet is the main sad situation. They literally, as demons, just corrupted him to just being some sort of fighter. All he goes is to battle. So you Muslims are paranoid to death. You think our prophet had to fight so much. But see, prophets are the same. That's how you can fight these demons. They have the same job. They have the same qualities. They all have the same supernatural abilities. So demons just took some of those examples. This prophet went to jail. Prophet Yusuf, right? Yosef. If you guys think that his name is John. He just went to jail. Okay, and then we'll tell them that prophet got eaten by a whale. You know? Like that. Just one example of their life. But they all have 20, 30 other situations they all went through equally. They all got persecuted. They all went to jail probably. They all like that. So he just, as a demon, likes to take one little story. But they probably all went to jail, get it? But he acts like only this prophet went to jail for 30 years. Now, I don't believe he went to jail for 30 years. That's too long. The hell are you going to sit there for 30 years for? That's weird, God. But you get me. Because then that means he didn't go through persecution. He's just in jail only. Other bad things have to happen to you for persecution. You get me? But you get me. The demons just simply do this. They have similar qualities as prophets. They all have abilities. Right? They cannot be killed. When they're around, there's no war. There's no fighting. There's no poverty. There's no injustice. So you see how scary that is? The devil doesn't want you to think that's how great they are. That when they come here, they can create such a powerful change. Because he already programmed you to believe that, you get me? They're not God. How can there be no crime? How can there be no injustice? The hell are you talking about? There's always some poor person on the earth. Get away from me. They just want you to think we're insulting God or something. If when they come down, such great things happen like that, where it just doesn't make sense because this world always has that happening. How can it just disappear altogether? Yes, he's here. He's great. Okay, fine. But you expect me to believe there's no poor person anymore. You expect me to believe there's no murderers anymore. Well, how does he know who's murdering in another country? You get me? You just think it's weird. Because they already took away the fact that they're supernatural, that they're powerful, that they can even get dreams from God telling them who's about to do something somewhere else. They might just warn some mayor over there, go catch him right now. And they run over there and they find some man trying to kill some. You forget the supernatural. Literally means they can prevent bad stuff from happening. Because they're connected to God, get it? God can just tell them. Some typhoon is coming. You all need to get out of here. They're all going to get out of here. They're going to tell you the whole city, let's go, everybody. You get me? That quality of supernatural in the sense that God has a direct contact with you. At some point, angels talk to you. At some point, it's a dream that is extremely powerful, not like the regular. You just forget. They can, who knows, even go up and meet God maybe, and then come back to earth. They're just too great. They have too much significance. But if the devil then thinks you're right, like what's the opposite of that? Nothing, no significance. Just some warrior that has a gun and shoots somebody, and then when he dies, everything goes back to normal again. Just useless, nothing, no significance. They're nothing, they're not special. And it's so easy for me to corrupt them into thinking that way of their prophets. Because exactly, I was given power to bother them like a regular person for 20-something, 30 years. And it's usually 30 or 31 years. So they're going to think the prophet didn't live that long either. I'll convince them they died of this. I convince them that they died of that. I'll convince them they never did this. It's easy. Because it's such a difficult life they have. It's not easy. It's like those stories that people make up where it's like everything is a metaphor. There's some cool situation or twist in the story. You get me? There's a twist. They're supernatural and powerful, and they can kill demons, not just you. You can't touch them, they can't touch them. But then they're allowed to be on this earth and not necessarily have those powers. So humans are possessed to just put them in a jail. think they're nothing then? Do you see how logical that is? It's the time they were put through trial. But that's not who they are. Everything about them is not normal. It's just supernatural. I'm Asian, but I literally grow up in Africa. For what reason was I there? Who the hell? Who did that? Because that means my birth was supernatural. The devil was looking for you before you were born. And God allows him to do this type of evil. Hide my race from me. Because then I'm not going to understand what I'm here for. I don't even get it. I'm going to live my whole life not understanding why these weird people are getting possessed to stalk me and bother me and try to put me in jail all day. Steal my jobs, steal my money, accuse me all day, try to act criminal around me all day, constantly try to cause me disease. I've already developed many illnesses before. Constantly go after my beauty because they don't want me to look like Asian. So they use the homelessness, the poverty, the sun, right? The hunger, the iron deficiency that really changes your skin color. See, even the types of sicknesses they try to cause me, they studied medicine, they studied health, they studied the human body, the things that could pigment someone's color, the things that could ruin their hair, the things that could ruin your nails, the things that could make you sick in your knees, so they can make you look like a weak old lady or something. Everything. They try to cause me every problem that's the opposite of my qualities. I'm light skinned. I'm not even beige. I'm light. But they tormented me, so I became beige. And then at some point, some areas, not all of it, right? Like my face and hands is pigmented. Why is it pigmented? Because I'm homeless for so long. I'm in the sun. You know, even a European would get pigmented to look more like reddish or orangey, right? You're not going to be dark, right? I'm not dark either. It's just pigmented. You can't be like, I don't believe it. What are you talking about? My body is light. I'm just not non-Muslim. I'm covered. You don't know that. But you get to see my face and hands. That evil demon knew I was going to be born into Muslim. He knew I'd be covered. He knew that humans would never know what your body looks like in terms of color. I don't show my shoulder. You get me? So it even works in their agenda, right? It even works in their favor. But see, no one has ever treated me as an African. I've never lived my whole life people walking up to me and saying that to me. They used to ask me when they would possess Somali people, right? The ethnicity they put me into, and they would first start to harass me on my job. I thought they were harassing me because they're demon, get it? They're possessed to bother me. Okay, but I didn't. Now I understand the question actually meant something else. Yes, they're harassing me. They would always try to accuse me all of a sudden, but they would speak in the language Somali. They don't try to verify if you're actually their ethnicity. So then the devil used that to make it seem as if they're treating me like a Somali. But wait a minute, they didn't. Because the question was saying, are you Somali? Get it? They're asking me if I'm actually this ethnicity. You might be like, that's the same thing. They're already talking to you their language. No, Somali people don't really learn English. So it's like, I know it seems dumb. Why are you speaking to them in a language if you don't think they're that race and you're trying to figure it out? You should probably use English or some main other language. But what if that you get me? You're an ethnicity. You speak your own language. You just need to ask this person a question to figure out if they're your ethnicity because you don't understand. Again, it's none of your business. But this is an evil human, okay? So from their evil quality, if they just want to harass you by being like, are you Somali? Because you don't look like us. Because that's what they were doing. They look at me like they're thinking, what? Huh? They always don't understand me. So no, I didn't live my life with Africans and Somali people thinking I'm African. It's just we dress. You get me? That evil family kidnapped me, so obviously guess what that means? They taught me how to wear their clothing. I didn't necessarily when I was younger wear the scarves of the Arab females, right? Or the Indonesian ones over there. Or you get me? Or the ones who become Muslim or European. I didn't wear the scarves first. Because Somali, right? They're too extreme in the covering. They wear heavy, gigantic, big covering, like Iran, right? So for that reason, that is then what starts to affect me. I'm just wearing that. Over time, I learned some beautiful, nice hijabs, obviously, because God actually was teaching me beauty. So that means I'm going to help Muslim women with beauty. Yes, we're going to have some makeup and stuff. Beauty, in terms of clothing, in terms of the body, In terms of, and then Africans, I'm going to help them. You know, in terms of what God is guiding me, he's going to use me to do. When I say I, it just means God is going to use me. It's him, it's not mine. With also their hair. Why is their hair like that? Why doesn't it grow? When you put oil on it, why doesn't it change? I told you already, go back to nature. Don't be like that's how God made them. Go back to nature. God gave us hair so it grows. So why would a hair be created to just be sticky and bushy and terrible? God, in terms of what I think he's guiding me to right now, this one I have to say I think, right? He just gave them wavy hair. He just gave them hair that's just a bit more wavy. Instead of yours, like Indian, it's just more smooth. You know, it's just slim, like a slime. While theirs is just more wavy. It just means it has more of that waviness. How is the waviness created? They have more hair than you. More hair. The hair is just too much. So anytime you put so much oil in their hair, you make it liquidy, right? You put water and then you put oil, then you really comb it really soft, go all the way. Then it becomes similar to Indian in that sense, in the sense that it's smaller now. Again, it's still thick and yeah, but I just mean the size goes down. So see, since I came to help everybody, I have to, yeah, he's allowed to attack me as a devil and okay, that's what happened. But is he attacking me because he's stronger than me or he's bothering me? No, it's just a trial. And God did it, not him. But when God allows bad things to happen to me and his prophets, it always is going to turn into something good at the end. You see what's going on? Because it never had a bad intention. It was never meant to hurt me. So he allowed the devil to steal me and took me to Africa. I'm not African, everybody. And no, I'm not mixed. I'm not mixed with them either. My parents have to be fully Asian or there has to be some supernatural birth. Okay? They just attacked my body with areas that would show you that, like my beauty and my skin. By constantly trying to make me homeless and pigment me and stuff. You know? If you don't take care of yourself, if you don't wash yourself enough, your hands and feet will look terrible. Right? Your face will look terrible. That's why they're obsessed with making me homeless. But also, see, the homelessness connects to the fact that I come to help people with wealth. God is going to help us have a lot of wealth. And I'm going to be used to help you make all that wealth. So I have to be poor all the time and learn what the hell's wrong with the system in the beginning. So, right, God is allowing me to be tested by him, exactly to be put in another race I don't belong in. So I live my whole life feeling alienated, confused, uncomfortable. I don't know where to go. I don't understand. Okay. But then I learned what they also need help with. What's wrong with Africans? They need a lot of help. So you see, he used it for a good thing. Because if I'm going to help you, I can't be stretched. I can't be made into 3 races. I still have to come from one race. So then how are Africans going to get a leader that helps them? So God is like allowing me to travel so I still know what's wrong with them. So you can't be like, I don't know how to help them. You can't be like, I don't know how to help Asians. I am Asian. Okay, I just don't know which ethnicity. You can't be like, I don't know how to help Europeans. I lived in your countries. I grew up here. I speak English just like you. Look at the way I even speak. It's not Islamic or that sort of way Muslims speak. I speak so friendly like Americans. So he allowed me to be persecuted in a way that it fits this world, these humans, what they need. There could have been a time that prophets, yeah, right? Their time, humans are just in one location. Okay, so they're going to be persecuted in a way where they don't have to do things like that. They don't have to go around. Just one location. The whole human race is in Africa, maybe, you know? And there's just a small number. But since there's 8 billion, there's all these, right, ethnicities, they're scattered all over the place. There's just 3 races. God allowed me to still get to know all of them. Get to see Asians all my life here. You might be like, you're right, but you still didn't get to go to the Arabs and the Asians. I believe he's going to let me go there soon. I don't know how, so don't ask me. I'm in a horrible financial situation, horrible safety situation. Again, my life is not in danger, but they're always trying to put me in jail, and they're always trying to accuse me and bother the hell out of me. So I'm always avoiding them and like that. It's not comfortable. It's not great. But I do know I have to find my birth. I don't know what happened in my birth. In order to figure that out, see, it happened on my birthday, October. I always get attacked extremely on my birthday because that just means you're cursed. You know what I mean? They're still allowed to put a curse on you. Even if you're a prophet or someone like me who's similar to them. It's not just humans. because they still need a power to attack you. Okay, so fine. God allows demons to persecute prophets. It's not directed at them. It's just to learn things and then help everybody. And the persecution is set in a way where it's specific behaviors or events that are bad that would happen towards them that then would fit the suffering of the people of their time, because then there you go. They're going to not understand how to help you. And then they're also going to learn other stuff and other stuff and other stuff. Excellent. But then you might be like, how are you going to actually understand Asians or go over there? Well, I'm obviously born into Islam. It's not hard to understand Arabs. I saw you in masjids every day, all right? It's not hard to understand some Turkish person, and they're all Arabs technically. It's not hard to understand the other types of Asians, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, the Filipinos, right? God always let me watch content about them online, see them as classmates. They were my friends many times in terms of like a coworker, not friend, no one knows me, right? But then you get me. The Arabs, they're Muslims, so I get to see them in mosques and like that. It's not hard. I at least got to see all of you. So see what God did. He took me to the United States. You know, he made that evil family come to the United States that Satan is using themselves. And yes, they're going to die very soon. Okay? They're going to die very soon. But before their death, I keep asking God, why don't you kill that witch mother? The Satan is using her to follow me around because I didn't understand what this was about. I thought the persecution was to bother me for some time and then I'm going to help everybody. But now that I realize the persecution is actually, right, not going to stop until some big supernatural stuff happens, right? Some big stuff happens. Then I'm like, I'm not questioning God like that anymore. I'm excited and I'm just waiting. You know what I mean? But I don't know how God is gonna get me out of this country and go to Asia. And I don't know which Asian place he's going to take me. Why the hell would I tell you? Demons follow me. I'm not going to tell you. Because see, they don't need you. They don't need to use you. They don't need to possess you to know where I'm going. Because I'm not a target for them. God makes them do it to teach me things and just to go through suffering. So since God is making them do it in that sense, right? Not that he's evil, but you get me, it's within his will. Versus you guys, when they attack you, that's not his will. They're just practicing their free will to attack you. But if, in my case, he's putting me in the situation, that's the better word, right? Then, okay, nothing bad's going to happen, okay? Something good will come out of it. He's just going to use that to guide all of you to Islam. Because obviously, there's a lot of non-Muslims. My life is going to be used to then help you come to Islam, okay? But then you're not going to then say, oh, we got pulled away from you again. We think you're cool. We just saw some cool supernatural events around you. You're probably God's leader or something. But you don't have to be scared of then exactly what would come after those sentences. The perversion, the sexism, the evil in Islam, the terroristic qualities, the fact that they want to kill all non-Muslims. Because I'm just telling you that's corruption right now. So you're going to love the religion. You're going to be ready to join. But then in order for you to have proof, you're going to see some supernatural events, okay? And okay, Jesus then will come after that. So let me end it. This is why I have to be Asian, because God has taught me that prophets are the seal of their own. You know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, as I was saying earlier, sorry. It's possible, right, that a prophet could arrive after another prophet and the devil just called this one just messenger, you get me, just to confuse you. Even though we all agree the first one, the main one, was a prophet and messenger. Okay, and this one's doing the same thing. You can't do the same job and have a lesser name and a lesser rank. That's it. That's how God guided me to see that Islam is corrupted to say, only our prophet is great and this, the other prophets are just nice, including the way you guys say, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam only for our prophet and Alayhi Salam for the other ones. So drop it. You committed a sin against the other prophets all this time unknowingly, or knowingly if you knew. Okay? So they're just prophets. You get me? Just visualize Prophet Jesus or Prophet Muhammad. Christians, just visualize Jesus, okay, since you love him. Okay, Muslims, Muhammad, okay, since you love him. Just visualize since Adam and Eve until the end of time, God is just sending Muhammad 50 billion times. And then for Christians, God is just sending Jesus 50 billion times. And each time that we are increasing as a time or species, we're just developing, or life is moving until the end. That's it. It's the same person repeating. but just a different gender and a different personality, obviously, and just a different ethnicity every now and then, but all coming from the three races. So that's it. That's it. They're the same person. That's the only difference, is obviously, because duh, you can't bring someone from the same race all day. You can't bring them from the same gender, because there's sexism then. God is not sexist. God is not racist. Okay? But also because you all deserve to have someone who's from your people help you. It's hard to understand someone from another place, right? But since they're your prophet, it doesn't matter who they're from. I just mean generically, right? You're not going to be like, you're right. We're not going to listen to the next leader then, because they're not my race. No. There was someone who already came from your race some 100 years ago. That's what I mean. You at least have the basics to know that someone came from your race. It doesn't have to be your time. Let it go. Don't you agree that the other ones is their turn? So you already know it's not going to be your turn next. If your people had someone at just a few centuries, it has to be this people's turn, okay? But, right? It doesn't mean I'm some African prophet or I'm some African leader. No. In order for God to hide my identity as Asian, I was kicked off into Africa by demonic persecution. And I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to figure it out. But what I do have knowledge of is morality and justice, and some knowledge on nature and the way God did things and what he's guided me to. And that's what I get to talk so confidently about. You get me? But I don't get to know much about me, because that's these next supernatural things that are going to happen soon, what they're going to help me discover. I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. I don't know how God is going to get me out of this country. I need to get the hell out of here. I've been trying to get the hell out of here since 2019. Oh my God. Okay? So, I do know though, the evil family, they said that their father went to Saudi Arabia one time when he was young, and he was an engineer or something, whatever. I don't know if they mean engineer, right? He was an employee there, okay, Makkah, Medina. And then the evil mother, when Satan, this human I actually know was possessed by Satan, just so you know that moment. Satan possessed her, and that's why she always seems like she had this masculine energy of demonic in her, and it seems ancient. You know, it doesn't seem like these other demons I see. They seem like kids, you know. So you get me. If I'm someone being used by God to help everybody expose corruptions in religion, then I obviously have significance and importance, correct? My job is just not to say it. That seems arrogant, okay? So that means Satan himself has to be doing the persecution, not some little demons, okay? When I say little, I don't mean little or to even insult them or to even make it seem as if the Satan is big and scary. No, I mean like their job is small, you know? He's the one with the agenda. So, sorry, let me correct that. It's not these demons, okay? These agents. It's him who has to actually be the one, right? At some point that has to possess someone and actually look at me and bother me. But I've noticed whenever I felt Satan possess someone, exactly, it was more quiet, it was more creepy, it was more covert. They don't say much. You know, they're not crazy like little kids like that I was just saying. These demons act like. It's like they're kids, you know? That's just how they behave, okay? They're adults, okay? So yeah. What was I saying? Goodness. So she, right?